chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back.
What's happening, you guys? How about that intro? HB in the back doing some work. Got color commentary with me. I'm El Capitan, Chris Adams. Guys, welcome to the Finns tailgate party that never stops. Guys, you can always catch Talk TMI Tuesdays, 9, sometimes a little bit later. The game show, giving away prizes, going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff. We also got Mike on the mic right after that with open mic and drop the mic on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 10. And you guys can also find Cashin tickets with Brandon the Bookie, Big Kev, and the Wizard of Oz here on Thursdays at 10. And we're going to be starting up some color late night commentary. Wait till you guys see. We're fleshing it out. Going to be coming out here real soon. You can expect to see that right after on Thursdays. Kind of doing a little fleshing out right now today so you guys can be reminded to come and check out Color here on Thursdays, doing the late night talking after cashing tickets. Well, Color, as I'm sure you can see and everyone else can see, the bookies aren't here. It really isn't the best betting week, is it? There is some college basketball, there is some hockey, but it's very limited, and the guys are going to be putting it in overtime for the Super Bowl betting show. But this worked out an opportunity that you and I have been talking um, about talking about some of this fantasy football betting and how it works and stuff. And I know we're on the last week ever of doing it. We're gonna move this into some fantasy betting ordeal for it, and we'll move it to baseball and stuff like that. And it's complicated, it's fun. It is a way to bet. And guys, please, if you do have any gambling problems of any sort, go ahead, hit the hotline. If you don't feel comfortable enough to talk to someone you don't know, you could always reach out to me, El Capitan, or Culler, or any of my guys here. You can find us on all different social media platforms. You can look for, the Fins Tailgate on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We're very approachable, and I hope that comes across, because if you have a personal thing and it has to do with gambling or anything at all, man, we're your guys, man. We're just nice cats, man. That's what we're trying to do.
And by the way, nice threads tonight, man. You got the Manny Diaz look going on.
Yeah,
tonight,
yeah, I know.
Cool.
Manny Diaz wish he looked this good. What you mean? So let's go over a couple things real quick, Color, because there is some matchups that have happened via basketball. And guys, also make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. What's happening, MC? Tua is trash. Anthony, Meminator, Aquavision. Thanks for showing up, guys. We're gonna do a little bit of the betting talk, very limited, and then we're gonna drop the link and we're gonna slide right into more of the dumpster fire that is the NFL, and
yes, which does
Dolphins.
Pertain to gambling in this particular case.
It really does pertain to gambling, and that's
I also want to real quick.
Please.
Tua is trash. I think we've got confirmation that Tua's backup and Tua is trash are in fact not the same person. Though we're looking.
I guess so. I guess so. So, let's start it out with a little bit of NCAA basketball. So we got some matchups coming up. There was one that ended today. It was UCLA and Arizona. Arizona edged them out 76-66. Arizona's ranked 7th and UCLA's ranked 3rd in NCAA. So, man, someone could have made some good money. Right now, San Diego's going against Gonzaga right now. Gonzaga's up 76-54. It is almost halftime right now. There's just 5.5 minutes left. So, but tonight you got USC ranked 19th against Arizona State. We also, there was Ohio State versus Iowa, but that's been postponed. Tomorrow we got Villanova versus Connecticut, Illinois versus Indiana, Tennessee versus South Carolina. And also Saturday, you got Auburn versus Georgia. Auburn is now ranked number 1 in the NCAA, which is Big Kev's got to be elated. To his trash says, no, we are not the same people.
We thought you might have changed your name a few weeks ago because you were Tua's backup is that's a euphemism. He's not really into Tua. He's about into Tua as much as you are. That's why I thought maybe you just changed your name for a second.
Thanks, Meminator. Yeah, guys, make sure to destroy that like button. Just get at my, you know what I'm saying? So, now, guys, on this episode that I wanted to put together, and yes, I did see that Aquavision. Doug Peterson got the Jags job, bro. Slipped through our fingers, never gave him a shot. I understand it. And I told everybody that Doug Peterson and his wife have been in South Florida, been hanging around. There's no reason why he couldn't have gotten the job around here, other than the fact that he sees the dumpster fire that is the Dolphins and probably said, you know what? Jacksonville's situation has such a low bar that it would be a hell of a lot easier to walk in, and he's not going to have power struggles, overbearing owners, nonsense, and he has a great quarterback to start over. So I I understand personally why Doug chose to not be here, man, to be honest. I still hold out hope for Harbaugh. I know everyone's so dead certain that Harbaugh is going to Michigan, but via my sources and still via my sources, what's up, Brandon? That it's not certain. It still isn't 100% right now.
Bet hasn't been cleared yet.
It hasn't, bro. So until I see him up on the podium, then I'll know it's true. We will see. If he does end up staying in Michigan, I want Caldwell. That's who I want. I want Caldwell to be our coach. I think a man of his stature and resume and all that stuff. And I still would like Mike McDaniel to come in here and be my OC for that matter, because Caldwell to me is not a long-term ordeal. Just on, not for nothing, but just his health and age would dictate that kind of stuff. But
and just real quick, just for clarification on what I meant by bet, and I never got to it in our earlier phone conversation, was so when I made the bet, the stipulation at the bottom was that it has to become public knowledge. The public, so
public confirmation.
Right. And the bet hasn't cleared yet.
That's right. Yeah. For everybody that doesn't know, Culler has a bet with plus 1,500 odds that Harbaugh will be the Dolphins' next head coach. If Harbaugh wasn't going to be our coach or couldn't be because he's confirmed,
they would have already settled the bet.
They would have taken his money, but that bet is still live.
Which means that it hasn't become public knowledge yet, is what they're saying. By not settling my bet, they're saying it's not public knowledge.
It's not 100%. Rhino says that McDaniel's pretty much a done deal. Listen, nothing's a done deal around here.
Well, that's another thing that can settle my bet. If we hire McDaniel tomorrow, that would settle my bet also. And
well, just like all the propaganda that came out about Flores, and I didn't believe it, is the same I'm doing with the McDaniel, because everyone was like, oh, McDaniel had his second interview. It went great. He's talking about the all the stuff and everything like that. And then come to find out he never even has been here. And then they're like, oh, no, it's Thursday that he's coming. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, actually, it's Friday. We'll see if he even shows up here Friday. So I know, right, John? He took those odds at plus 1,500, man. And if he gets that, it's going to be a nice one there.
Yep, that'll be $25 to win 375 plus my original 20.
I know, bro. What? Finna go to the strip club, Culler.
Right now that's a case where my particular betting site only allowed a max bet of $25. I'm supposing you could do asks, more like different bets, but
Mary asks, what does Watson want? Get that dude. I think it all depends on what coach comes in this building. You know, if Harbaugh or Caldwell becomes the head coach of this team, I think that's a very possible.
I think Bieniemy is also a sure thing for Watson if we were to somehow land Bieniemy. Now, again, reiterating the point that
Bieniemy,
until the day that they stopped running odds for the Dolphins coach, Bieniemy was still the odds favorite at plus 400. Day I made my bet, Eric Bieniemy was the odds-on favorite.
He's still plus 400. He still is. I
haven't seen anything updated because BetUS hasn't put a list up in a week. You know what I mean?
They need to help a brother out. I've been trying to put something on there and bet on it, and I can't. I got Brandon the bookie. It's got some bets made for me.
Yes, Mary Swanson, that was the original beef that was started in Houston was because they refused to hire Bieniemy. That's exactly what right. Watson was originally upset with Houston about and
for the same reason that Flores is talking about now, that they didn't even give the man a look.
That's exactly right. Watson was taking a stand. You're absolutely right. Ironically, in this whole thing,
and it all comes back around again with this systemic racism that we're seeing in the NFL. Not so much so that I think it's as blatant as racism is. I think it's a little bit more. It's like a left-handed compliment, as they say, or a left-handed handshake. I don't know the term, but it's a real. I don't know, man. It's like checking the box that now says, oh, look, we're not racist. It's virtue signaling in a way, as they say. And it's become an ugly thing. But let's get to a couple of these bets over here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Bet US, and I'm going to give you some of these lines, Culler. But
do you want? I use BetUS too, but I also have an account with one of their competitors. Do you want me to pull that one up so we have
sure,
juxtaposing
man.
lines?
Listen, we can't we can't go wrong. So what we're going to
I mean,
go over
most of them are
tonight.
similar, but there might be a couple differences, lines between the two sometimes.
So a couple of a couple of things, guys. We're going to go over a little bit of NCAA, and we're going to go over a little bit of hockey. When we do get on to talking about football, it won't be this week because we're going to have a whole massive special on it. All the Finn's Tailgate guys are going to be all there, and we're all going to talk about all the prop bets, all the insanity, coin flip, everything, guys. That's what's it. Betting on the Super Bowl is one of the biggest draws to the Super Bowl is the actual betting part. And we're going to have a good time and a lot of fun with all of us doing it. And also, real quick, guys, we're going to get to some hockey talk. Nicole, who I've been in contacts with via Messenger for a while, she's an expert with hockey and the Panthers. Be bringing her in, hopefully making her a part of the team, try to figure out some kind of scheduling with her, or at least get her in as our Panthers expert to come across all the shows and the channels to have someone else to hear from and talk about one of our, Florida teams that we all love. So real quick, Culler, let's take a look at the Saturday games because we're not going to get to anything tonight. I like this Villanova, I don't know why I said that, versus Connecticut. They're number 12 and Connecticut is 17th. That game's at noon tomorrow. Let's take a look at some of these odds.
Sure.
Alrighty. All right. Are you seeing any of these future bets on your end? Because I'm not seeing them.
Let's see here. We got NCAA basketball and NCAA basketball.
I'm not seeing it on BetUS. They only show what's on today.
Right.
But let's. I'll start. Go ahead and check on yours. I'll do this game here. I got USC versus Arizona State right now. Arizona State is plus 200. They're underdogs at 6 points, so they're plus 6. So, guys, essentially how it works, and this is kind of what I wanted to aim to today, is explain, and I'm going to go ahead and just share the screen. So it's just going to be a little bit easier to show you guys what we're doing, how we're doing it, and stuff like that. Okay, so right here in the middle of our screen at 11 p.m., we have USC and Arizona State. As you guys can see, as it's highlighted up, the negative points shows that USC is favored. They believe that they'll win, and they're going to give you a certain amount of points for the unfavored team. So, Culler, explain it a little bit for them what I'm talking about. Because what we have, see at this column here, guys, it's the point spread, the money line, then the point total, then the team total. So we'll scroll back down. USC. So this is the point spread. And now they're thinking Arizona will lose this game. So if you picked them to bet on to win, you don't have to bet on them to win. If you think Arizona is going to beat USC, you would take a money line, and that would be plus 200. They would give you plus 200 odds to bet that Arizona is going to beat USC. Now,
however, if you think that same Arizona State team is going to lose, but you don't think they're going to lose, but you think they're going to lose by less than 6,
then you can take.
That's why you would go over to the spread line, which obviously
Absolutely.
You can see has a less
payout,
less payout because it's probably a little safer bet to think they might only lose by less than 6 than it would be that they'd win the outright game.
That's right. So if now you think you have no faith in Arizona, you think USC is going to wipe the floor with them, you can either A, come over here and take minus 240. And that's always when you have a minus column, essentially, you would bet, say, $10. Well, they're not going to pay you $10 back. That would be what's known as even money. they're going to give you negative odds. So if you're betting $10, you're probably at minus 240. You would only get maybe like what, $6.50 back,
Right. Anything
650
on the
back.
minus side is less than double your money.
That's exactly right. And anything on the plus side is that plus it. So if you were to look at this, and me not knowing enough about Arizona State or USC, they're very confident in pushing you that, look, they're giving you negative odds plus negative odds on the plus points. Negative odds again, a lot of negative odds considering that to take USC. So they really believe USC is going to win this game. Now, if Arizona in an upset wins and you took the chance on betting on them on the money line, or pretty much the money to be had is the gamble on this is the money line on Arizona. And
one other thing real quick.
Go ahead, bud.
If you were the type of person, let's say you follow Arizona State and USC religiously,
yeah,
and for some reason you think that Vegas is absolutely wrong and you think that Arizona State is going to absolutely destroy USC, then you probably would want to look at, well, how is the money line in relation to the spread? And that's where you'd want to go with the money line.
Well, I think more along the lines, that's how I would do it, money line in relation to the spread at not knowing. Because when you know more, you go with those, say that this young kid.
Right. Well, what I mean is, if, like you said, if you think that Arizona State is going to just roll over USC, then they're going to cover that 6 points. They're going to win by more than 6, or they're going to lose by less than 6, because a win, obviously, they didn't lose by less than 6. So you would just take the better odds right there, and that would be the money line in this case. But if you think it's going to be close, but Arizona State's going to either eke it out or barely lose, then you would want to go with the spread there because it's at 6. Now that you have to also factor in, do you think they're going to barely lose by less than 6, or do you think they would barely lose by less than 12? Well, if you think then less than 12, then you wouldn't take the spread there. You would go ahead and take the other team to cover on the spread, because you're assuming that USC would win by at least 6 or by at least 7.
So let's get into the weeds a little bit and explain some of these prop bets. So
quickly also, Chris, I want to just answer Tony, because he gets, he likes to have,
well, I can't see that's what I need you for. I can't see him, so go ahead.
Sure thing. He was saying, he was saying, Culler, besides Bet US, do you ever use the sports books directly from either of the big casinos in Vegas, like Caesars or the Atlantic City Casinos sports books? And to answer that question, each of those sites, if you're able to access those betting books online, will require you to prove that you're in a state that allows you to bet inside the United States. So if let's say you're like in Florida, we're not allowed to gamble inside the United States. However, they have either looked the other way, or some states have either looked the other way or made provisions.
Well, actually, you're allowed to gamble in Florida.
Well, I was going to say, it has to be the bet has to be made outside of the state of Florida.
That's right.
And so what they're seeing it as, why the reason they either look the other way or they provision it, is that a site like Bet US's servers are somewhere like in Argentina or something. So when you're making the bet's actually being made in the country of Argentina. So in the state of Florida, whether it's because they're looking the other way or whether it's because they provision that in the law, we're allowed to do that. So no, we couldn't in Florida go use Caesars. When you go to their site and it looks up your location, it's going to say, actually, it'll only allow you to do the stuff that is legal in your state.
That's right. Yeah, there is some limitations because they do allow some usage, but not all of it. I do know that the Hard Rock app in Florida, and this was before in the beginning of the football season last year, it was a free for all here in Florida, and you were allowed to bet on anything. Then there was some kind of judge ruling. What's it called at the top? What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for here? It's not Supreme Court. Maybe it was. I don't know. Anyhow, some judge ruling in the state of Florida where they shut this down because Florida was allowed to do it. And then they turned off the bet site app, Hard Rock, which was awesome to use, guys. By the way, that short couple of weeks Brandon and I used it was the greatest site ever. I hope they get it back. And listen, guys, the reason we're making this and trying to make it informative and educational is because this is the future. This is where it's going to go. You're going to be betting live on everything, just like you would be if you were in a casino on Vegas. That's going to be on your tablet. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, la, 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 la. And the lines and things are going to come up. And during a commercial break or a timeout, new lines and new odds are going to come in. And that kind of ties into a little bit what's going on here in Miami with an owner trying to lose football games. And in a day and age where betting is becoming the next step, they're gonna have to tight-lip this whole problem up and get some kind of action committee. And I've predicted this. You can ask any one of my guys, and I talk about this a lot behind the scenes. This is gonna happen. A federal investigation is going to take place on the collusion that our owner has taken place and potentially dig up dirt on other collusions and owners. And what will end up coming about is an action committee will be put together that will work with the NFL, that will make sure that these games are not being rigged.
On top of the fact that it's so, with the influx of so many new people that want to get into betting, it's so egregious. This is why we're so upset about these things, because these are the very issues that have kept gambling illegal for a long time. I mean, for all the people that are like, oh, be careful, they're all vindicated now, because you have a new influx of or an influx of new bettors. And none of those people have any clue if something like that was going on. I mean, you just assume everything's on the up and up. Not everybody gets in the weeds with the team and knew we were tanking. So you're going to have people making bets based on the fact that what they thought that the product we were putting on the field in 2018
was a legitimate one.
Product, right?
Was a legitimate one.
So they're making the betting decisions on that.
And not just that, Culler, but we're talking about our owner having money put into betting.
On top of everything else, right? Exactly.
We're talking about real collusion here.
Right. So if we and to illustrate what Chris is saying, if we lose a bet, the people that make money are the casino, either Vegas, we'll call them. Okay.
Yep.
So when Ross is paying to somebody to tank the game, and we're making a bet based on the fact that we're actually trying to win, and they're
robbing us.
When we lose that bet, Ross made more money.
That's right.
That's as clear as we can put it.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
And this is an ugly black eye on the league and betting and what it's going to do. And that's why I say there's going to be an action committee that comes into place, because this is happening. This is why
Congress gets involved.
Congress is going to get involved. They're going to have a action committee watching over not just the NFL, but all sports, because this will now move into an international league, in international betting. It already has. We're making our bets on sites that are happening internationally. So if I take my NFL product to London, which they already do, and they're going to run through their casinos in London this betting live on football that we've deemed to be legitimized. This it's not legitimized when you got owners throwing football games. You can't. Tanking will be a thing of the past. You can't tank. And if you do and you're called out, you'll be investigated, Mueller investigation, whatever you want to say. And it's going to come, man, because you're talking about international problems now. People in other nations, feeling like the Americans are robbing them. That's an ugly, ugly thing. So we're going to need to have a government stamp of approval saying that this is legitimate. It is monitored and it is watched. And we'll see as the years go on. And this happened in college. A lot of betting in college where students were being approached to throw football games and stuff like that. And it's still a problem, I'm sure, but they've gotten it well maintained and under control. It's now got to happen in a larger scale with the NFL. All right, so let's go ahead.
I mean, we all know there's a guy, a baseball player, that is banned for life from ever getting into the Hall of Fame because of this.
You want to know who it is, guys? For anyone who doesn't know who it is, It's Pete Rose. And
Yeah,
I've
the
got Pete
man will
Rose right
never
there.
get in the Hall of Fame.
One of the greatest baseball players ever. I got a Pete Rose signed right there. And you know what's sad is this signed Pete Rose card is worthless. It's worthless because what they've done to Pete Rose. The problem is that I have with how they did Pete Rose is that he never bet on them to lose. It was always to win, from what I understand. And I don't think there's any law against betting on yourself to win, but they did that to make an example out of him. And I just want to point out, guys, that was right around the world expansion of baseball. That's where it was. Baseball started becoming a super international product, and that's what has happened. Johnny Slim, I see you over there on Facebook, man. If you could, man, please hop over to YouTube and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.
And also, thanks to the guys over at Miami Sports Fanatics Show, Gio and Batman.
Love you,
for
Gio,
giving
brother.
us a plug like that. Appreciate it. Like
Appreciate
and share
it,
their
my
stuff
brother.
too.
Yep, guys. Always, this is a family of creators. We work together. We're friends. We're friendly. Please, guys, check out the other content, the other creators. We all aim for the same thing: growth in the community for new people who are watching on Facebook, who are watching on Twitch, who are watching on Twitter, to come to YouTube. And we thank YouTube for allowing us to have these voices. And we want you to experience it with all of our friends, because that's what we are looking for. More friends. We're looking to grow our community. And that's what this is about, guys. It really, really is. So real quick, and I'll get to your question in just a second, Anthony. But we'll go ahead and look at some of these prop bets. Now, Isaiah Mobley, these are his over-unders on points. I'm getting a little bit of echo off you, Culler.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, buddy. So we're looking at Isaiah Mobley, who's one of the big-time players for USC. So they're going to be picking his points total. They have him set at 14.5, which they'll allow you to pick over or under. Now, if you take the under, meaning if he gets 14 points or less, you'll win even money. If you take the over, meaning he'll get 15 points or more, you're having negative odds on that. So they're basically saying that they expect him to have 15 points or more. He's obviously the go-to man over there at USC. So we'll look again. His rebounds are set at 7.5. So if you take 8 rebounds, if you think he's going to get 8 or more, you'll get even money. If you think he's going to get 7 or less, then you would be right at 130. That's negative 130 under those odds. And sometimes you can get caught. Say he gets isn't it a push if he gets 7?
I believe so.
Yeah, so if he lands on 7 and you've taken the up or you've taken over or under, it would be known as a push. A push meaning that the bet is washed. You didn't win nothing, they didn't win nothing, and everyone is, back to zero again, pretty much. So it gets a little dicey in the prop betting, but this is where the money is to be made and had. So here we go. First to score 20 points. These are good bets to have. They think USC is going to, come out hot, which they're already picking USC to win this game. So USC has a negative 200 line. But if you know something about Arizona, we don't, and believe Arizona is going to come out hotter than, a $2, $3 bill, you know what I'm saying? Then Arizona State, you can get plus odds on that, taking them at plus 150, which you would win good money on that. Another prop betting tool that's fun to use. And guys, when we do our Super Bowl show, it's in this manner in which a lot of these bets are made. So this is all these prop bets. Winning margin by USC if they win by 1 or 2. Now these are known as what do they call these? Color, just a point window, I would say.
I'm
How
sorry.
much when you
like a range. Yeah, like
a range or a window. So if you think USC is going to win by 2 points or 1 point, it's going to be a close game. If you were to guess that right, they give you this range of 1 to 2 points. You get plus 800 odds on that. If you think USC is going to smoke them and beat them by 10 or more points, You got to find your window. These are hard to hit. These
Now,
types of
and
bets.
I also want to point out that the reason you're getting better odds is from what Chris just said. They're harder to hit because you're not saying it's going to go over or under this one single number. You're trying to fit it right in a range, and obviously that's more of a crazy thing to happen. So the the odds are better. Or
I
the
like
odds
to
go
make
up.
these. I like to take these prop bets on football. I like to take my analytics of what I see out of performances, and I see things from a defensive perspective. So I will look at it in a defensive perspective. If I look at the defense and I see injuries, I see that they're ranked really bad in passing and they're going against Aaron Rodgers, and I'm getting plus odds on Aaron Rodgers 325 to 370 or whatever the number is. I might think that might be the game where he's going to hit 325 yards, and they'd give you like plus 900.
And
So,
you're sort of, in that case, you're sort of kind of betting on the game script that you have it in your head as to how the game's going to go. So if you dream up in your head this perfectly plausible game script, then you can look at the prop bets and say, well, if my game script theory plays out, then what is that going to look like, and what types of bets can I make, because certain things are going to happen if your game script plays out. So you're really betting on your game script at that point. So like
I recommend somebody, when you make some of these prop bets, it's one or two ways for you guys. It's either super well educated or you're rolling them hot dice, boy. You hoping to hit it big. And it's fun too. I got to say, I use it as an analytic tool. Please, guys, if you have a gambling problem, again, numbers rolling at the bottom, reach out to me, reach out to any of my guys. But if you're looking at it and this is money spent for fun, that's what I use it for. This is some of the funnest action you'll get betting on games like this. It's how I stay interested in a game that has no implications against my Dolphins or against my Heat. And I watch it just to see, because I have a rooting interest. And
another thing too, Chris, about betting with money that with fun money is that if you're betting within your means, and you're not, and the money that you're betting with is something that you could already throw out the window, then it allows you to make certain decisions that you normally wouldn't make because the pressure would be on to not lose. You see what I'm saying? So once you eliminate the pressure of losing, sometimes it's easier to make something that may look like a crazy bet, but actually has some real thoughtful, practical,
well, when you're betting scared,
you may not make that decision because you're too afraid to lose your money. Well, if you're afraid to lose your money, you shouldn't be betting it.
That's exactly right. If you got money that you're afraid to lose, you shouldn't be betting. And that's why it's called gambling, guys. It is a gamble. And so even like, okay, Arizona, obvious underdogs. We've already pointed that out. If Arizona wins by 1 or 2 points and you took this window, you're getting plus 900. Crazy enough, if you take them to 3 to 6 points, you're getting plus 600, which is odd, but that's how they do it, because the spread of possibility is bigger, especially in basketball where they score 2 and 3 points a lot. You know what I'm saying? Chances are it would land on this number where it's 3 to 6.
And for example, if Vegas has that spread on that game set at 4 or 4.5, you could say, well, you could either take the over under on 4
or go and take the window.
It's likely if it's a close matchup or the other odds show that it's more likely to be if it's not 4. Like, in other words, the over under will be within a point or a half a point. Then you can say, well, do I want to take that bet? Or if they have the over under at 4 and I think it's going to go over, but only by 1, I might take the 1 to 6 range instead, get better odds because I think they're actually going to win by 5. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Anthony says in the comments, he's asking if you took the 10-point spread. Right now, the odds are set, Anthony, that USC will win by 6 points. Or right around 6 points is really where they're putting it. They're giving 6 points to Arizona. So if we went there and said, okay, USC is going to beat them by 6 or more points, you were to take 350, or maybe you think there's going to be a little bit more than 6 points, you would take plus 550, which would probably be a smart bet in this instant, just by how the Vegas has set the lines. So you go, okay, if I took USC to win, and I only have $10 to throw away on this game per se, what would be a better idea? I'd take them at money line to win at minus 240, or the $10 I'm willing to lose. I go, okay, they're setting it at minus 6. So they're probably going to win by 7 or more points. So I'll roll down here to the prop bet window, and I'll see where they have 7 or more points, which is set 7 to 9, and that's plus 550. That $10 on that is plus 550. Now I'm making some real money rather than taking 10 and risking it to make $5.
Right. And
I'm going to take the 10 to risk it to win $50.
Right. And if those teams are actually even matched, but there's a clear underdog, what you're saying is the teams are evenly enough matched that, yes, I think this team will lose or win, but the over-under is only going to probably be by 1 or 2 points. So that if you decide that for yourself in hypothesis, then you could go on this list and say, well, where is that range? Because I could possibly get better odds if I'm sure that it's actually going to hit that range. In other words, you're not talking about two teams that are so unevenly matched that if you look at the spread and try to bet on a range on that spread, you're going to get burned because that favored team could win by 14 instead of just 1 or 2 on the over. You know what I mean?
It's a way to better utilize money you're willing to lose and maximize your return on money you've already in your head spent. That's kind of how we go with it, guys. So with that, we'll move over to a little bit of hockey. I'll just real quick, as you guys can see, it gets crazy. You can do
me
first
too,
half.
Cap. Start sidebar. Me too, Cap.
What
I was saying it's what I was saying earlier without actually saying it. Just me too. That's
well, I don't know what he's saying. Read it out.
It's okay. Back to betting. I was just I don't have my chat screen up, so I wanted to say
no problem, brother.
Typing it.
So hockey has a lot of really, really fun bets, guys. Hockey gets nuts, dude. So.
And another thing about hockey is you don't have these crazy differentials.
No, you
and
don't.
High scoring games. Everything's pretty
well,
much
actually, hockey's changed a lot, man. There's a lot.
Oh, there is more scoring. Sure,
there is so much more scoring in hockey these days.
8-point game would be like 76 points in football. You know.
Well, see, that's why the money line on these are usually always negative or even. So Atlantic versus Metropolitan or whatever the heck it is, they're both negative odds. So let's look at. So we'll do Atlantic versus.
It's the same with
baseball. They don't even have any of the prop bets. This is the thing, guys. They don't really give so many prop bets out till the day of, at least on BetUS. It's something I'm sure they're all working on because it still is a new conception. This type of betting. Football, they're a little bit more apt to. They have all different types of prop siding as bets where, look, you guys can see first half props, first quarter props, alternate player props, cross sport props, defensive props. You guys can do what's known as a parlay. Why don't you explain the parlay to them?
So a parlay is a bet that you're making that has a couple different legs, up at least 2. And up to most casinos, I think, allow up to like 5 on your parlay.
Yeah, 5's.
And so what you're doing there is you're saying, I'm betting on these 2 different games or outcomes or whatnot, but I'm putting them on the same ticket. So first of all, they both have to hit for your bet slip to win. And so because of that, you get way higher odds and way more return because the odds of you guessing 2 things happening, even if they're not related.
Yep.
And even if individually they have really good odds of happening, together and both those events happening is less likely. So you'll end up,
and you can even cross sports.
In other words, you'll end up taking more risk on that. And as such, your return will be higher.
And you can even cross sports with this kind of stuff too, which is awesome.
If one of those legs, let's say I bet that the Super Bowl is going to go over X number of points, but I also put on the parlay that so and so is going to have 153 yards. Okay, if so and so don't get 153 yards, but I'm still right about going over on X number of points in the game, I still lose the bet.
That's right. You take the big risk. You only need to lose one of those bets to lose all of those bets.
Right.
And
So what you
Brandon,
want to try to do, a lot of
the
the
bookie,
experts
and
will
I.
recommend you don't really want to go over more than 2 or 3 legs on your parlay.
Well,
Now,
I'll
if you're an
recommend this to
insane guy and
anyone.
you got a lot of money to throw away and your fun money is
Yeah.
large, then hey, pick 5 things you think are sure things and put them all on the same parlay, because the payout on that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, nothing better than hitting a parlay. And I'll tell you what, Bleezy, I'll give everyone a really good piece of advice if you're doing parlays. Never put the Dallas Cowboys in your parlay, and never have Sam Darnold anywhere in your parlay. Those two guys will win or lose the game for you in some way. I'm talking, I've had 5 bet parlays several times in my life with Brandon the bookie, and it's always those two things that ruin them. I'm talking hit on everything. We're talking windows. We're looking at thousands of bucks, and sideswipe by the Dallas Cowboys and sideswipe by Sam Darnold. So I don't. Those
I've got
two
my
guys.
own Sam Darnold, Chris, but his name shall remain nameless because we don't want to spin out in that topic right now.
I know I already know who your Sam Darnold is, brother.
Well, it's more from this fantasy perspective. Like, I ran stacks with him all year long and
let's
didn't win
move
any
to
tournament.
that. So, guys, Culler's going to explain in as much detail with not getting too much in the weeds. And then after this point, we're going to move into the tailgate party show. But Culler, I want you to explain fantasy football betting a little bit. And if you could, try to use the example that we're looking at coming up this week, just in a fantasy perspective.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, obviously, I think a lot more people are probably familiar with fantasy than the ins and outs of betting, because companies
Fantasy
like
football's
FanDuel
for
and
free.
DraftKings have made their marketing and made it appeal to a lot of people. Plus, it's very easy to do. It doesn't require a lot of throwaway money. You can get into 10-cent tournaments that could pay out $150. You could get into a dollar tournament that might pay you up to $1,500 if you take first place. And since they're tournaments, a lot of them are tournaments, you can, you'll get into a spot where, yeah, I paid $1 to get in and I didn't take first place, but I got 12th place, which was $5. So if you look at it from a gambling return, that $1 into 5, that's 5 times your money. So there's you can see how that can progress. But as far as the fundamentals of it, you have 2 different types of fantasy in the realm. I'm going to use the realm of football because that's the one I know the most, and I'm sure a lot of them have some. I know there's dynasty and league and season long and like basketball and all that stuff too. So, but as far as pertains to football, to keep things simple, you have 2 different types. You have what's called season long or dynasty. Dynasty is just bridging a few seasons along in the season long format. So we'll put that aside. But your season long is basically you start with a group, you enter the tournament or whatever, the contest at the beginning, like right around, maybe as early as draft time. It depends on different sites start their registrations at different times. But what ends up happening is in a season long is you basically you have a draft with all the players in the tournament, and you all pick players. And so just like in real life, a player can only be picked by one team. So you're basically creating your roster. They have a version of like in the real world, you have the waiver wire and trades and all this other stuff. So you're basically maintaining a team all year long and cycling players out the same way in which a general manager of a football team would do.
Not dissimilar to a regular non-betting fantasy football.
Right. Now, so that requires a lot of, varying amounts, but in order to be successful, it requires a lot of management, a lot of time, a lot of research, and also, decisions that you make and strategies. So that being said, daily fantasy, which we call DFS, If you ever see that anywhere in a chat, somebody saying DFS, that's what they're referring to, daily fantasy sports. And in these types of games, everybody can pick from the same pool of players. You could have 5 lineups all with the same quarterback. Okay, but what you're doing is you're going week to week, and you're not tied to the same lineup. So you enter a tournament. You can enter 50 tournaments if you want, all with different lineups, all with the same lineup if you want.
Now, Culler, is in these tournaments, are they say only 10 people in this tournament and 100
Well,
in
it
this one
depends.
and
It depends.
10,000?
You have a varying range from up to, hundreds, unlimited numbers of players. Like, let's say if you're talking about a free promotional tournament that maybe a marketer's running, and then you have like big tournaments where there'll be 20,000 people, but you also have them as low as 1,100 people and smaller. Anything below that, they start to refer to as what's called a cash game, where you don't have a guaranteed payout and you don't have a zillion people playing. So there is something to be said when it comes to bankroll management and which types of tournaments you enter, which types of strategies you implement based on how many people are in the tournament, and also based on how many entries are allowed. Some tournaments are what are called single entry tournaments, where each person can only enter one lineup, and others are multi-entry. So you might be able to have 20 entries in this one tournament. And so you can quickly see how that evolves.
It improves your odds. It costs you more money.
It's
kind of like being at a craps table and taking multiple bets on that one spin.
So at the fundamental level, the daily fantasy you're doing every week. Like, you might be making your lineups all throughout the week. You might be a person that waits till Sunday morning right before all the games and makes lineups.
Is it at the end of the season payout, or is it a payout every week?
No, these are instant. So for instance, if you enter a tournament, let's just break it down to the base level, because there's people entering thousands of entries into thousands of tournaments and all that stuff. So let's just break it down to, I just learned about fantasy football. I've got $1 and I want to enter a tournament. So I go enter a tournament, and it's got 5,000 contestants in it, right? And so I go through when I enter the tournament. By the way, you don't give the $1 until you actually set the lineup and hit submit. So let's just put that out there. But so I'll set a lineup, I'll enter the tournament, okay, and so let's say my lineup wins first place. It gets the highest total number of points based on how they factor. Each site's different, of course, and they have their own scoring system. Most of them similar, but there's a couple nuanced differences between, let's say, FanDuel and DraftKings. But so I set my lineup, I win first place. My lineup is in that tournament what's known as the optimal lineup. That's the one that nobody else could have got more points with. That combination of players was the optimal combination of players for that tournament. Okay. And so let's say I win within 20 minutes after the game is over and locked in and all the tallies are in. Your account at your favorite fantasy site will have your winnings already in it. So you get paid instantly for the win. So as I was saying, everybody treats it differently. Some people are making lineups all week, and then there's some people that don't want to get burned by last minute injuries, and and there's a lot of people that don't lock their stuff until Sunday morning when all the games are about to start. Because you can still be affected by injuries in daily fantasy, because sometimes the teams aren't required to. Let's say there's a player that's questionable. They're not required to give his status until like 4 p.m. or something on Saturday.
Yep.
So,
and if it's a marquee player, you're going to need
there's a lot of scrambling going on after Saturday for people to adjust their stuff when they find out A, this guy's not playing, or B, he is.
Not dissimilar to what fantasy football is when you're just playing in a league to beat your friends and stuff.
Sure, except in season long, there isn't many things you can do to change it if you're locked in. If you don't find that, if you don't have inside knowledge about the guy's status and you can't make a trade earlier in the week, then you're stuck, or you don't have a guy on the bench
because the leagues are so in depth. It's not like there's players sitting around that are worth anything to put in and out, unless you got a line on somebody you think is going to pop for whatever reason and get starting roles. Which, if you got it in a league with 1,000 people, someone in there's got it too. They might beat you to the punch.
Now let me also kind of bridge that to this example too, because it'll make a further, it'll be another little education point. Is that, let's say the injured report comes out on Saturday, the team says the guy's playing, and so you're like, okay, I'll keep that lineup. Well, what if you think in the back of your mind, well, he might play, but if he's just coming off injury, it might just be to be a decoy, so the defense has to game plan him. But he may not actually get the carries or the targets that he normally does. And you may have that in the back of your mind saying, do I really want to play him, even though, is he that much of a superstar, blah, blah, blah. So you could either change that guy out at that point, or you know what? You can just hedge it. You can create a whole nother lineup and say, I'm going to have everybody the same in the lineup except this guy, just in case I'm wrong and they don't utilize him.
It's brilliant.
So you can see how that can develop.
It gets dicey, to say the least.
Many different scenarios across thousands of lineups.
So, Culler,
if you had the fun money to play.
Anthony has a comment here, and I want you to respond. It's a two-parted comment. It says, a friend of mine who gambles. Hold on, let me scroll up here. A friend of mine who gambles a ton. He had a parlay last year at the Super Bowl that said it was going to go over the total of points, 30 points for both teams. And on the second leg of the comeback margin, he had 30 grand on the first of the parlay and 50 on the second leg to win 85 grand on one ticket. So explain the legging of it, Culler.
Well, in that case, I'm not sure if all sites do that.
Well, that was, I'm assuming that's at a casino.
What you know what I mean?
I'm assuming that's at a casino.
Right.
I know on a betting
details,
site,
like this part of your leg was actually how much you won, and in the sites we use, it's all looped together. So in other words, my site would have told me I just won 85,000. They wouldn't have separated it like that.
That's right.
Said which part of the leg made what. I could do that math on my own based on the odds of each leg of the parlay, but that sounds like a site or a place or a site where they're actually itemizing that for you. Or enumerating that, like, hey, you won this amount on this leg.
Thanks,
but
Jorge.
If either leg failed, you would have won zero.
Thank you, Jorge. This is kind of, or George, whichever you want to be responded as. It's kind of what we wanted to get done tonight. The bookies are busy. They're preparing for Super Bowl, preparing for Sweet 16 coming up. We can't wait. It's going to get really interesting.
And be honest, we're not the greatest money line experts in the world as far as
the bookies are the bookies. We're trying to explain it in a digestive manner because there's a lot of lingo. There's a lot of getting faded.
And I've got the glossary up. So if y'all have one word that you don't get, an acronym,
well, here, just give them the glossary.
Let me know. I'll look it up.
give it to them real quick. What little bit of lingo that would help them understand when they're speaking to someone who does bet. What it would, no one wants to sound like an idiot, and nobody wants to take money and play bad. And it's very. What's the word? It's intimidating, guys, we understand that. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do with the betting show is bring your questions in, bring it to us, bring it to the bookies. They want to help you guys understand things. And as
we don't know it, we know how to look up and get the information we need to tell you.
Not only that, but as it fleshes out and as we start, doing these shows, you guys will see how great my bookies are at this. And what they specialize in and why I have multiples of them, because some are better in other areas, and the information that they'll give you, some of them have amazing information in their topics, guys. I'm talking to people who are fighters. I'm talking to coaches. I'm talking to guys that are betting millions with other people that are in, by proxy, friendships with my guys that are trying to get the best information on their bets. Now, my guys aren't betting millions, but my point is that they're making well-informed bets, and you'll see. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, guys. So, yes, thank you so much. That's what we're trying to do.
And so just to start with a word like you used, I'll go ahead and use a word like fade, because that actually applies. That's jargon that can be applied to betting as well as fantasy sports. So fading, for instance, is, That's a common word you'll hear. Oh, I'm fading that guy, or I'm fading this bet, or whatever. So in the betting world, it's pretty simple. It's you're kind of taking a high odds against what the consensus is saying. So if you're, let's say if you're taking a major underdog in the Super Bowl, and you know,
You're fading the whole
you're
world.
fading the other team or the other bettors. You're saying I'm going against the grain. I'm going against the crowd, and a lot of times that can get you higher odds and better
It's
returns.
essentially saying I see the money going this
I'm
way,
gambling
and then
more.
not only that, but like, say you were convicted come Super Bowl that you knew the Rams were gonna lose, and so Rams are favored in this game. Well, you plan to make your bet on Cincy. Well, you're gonna wait to fade them because the money's gonna come in on the Rams, and you put money on Cincy and waited to the odds to come higher, so there's a higher payout. Now you faded them all. You were
Yep, great.
patient, you waited, and now you've made money.
That's great. That's a great example of the practical application of fading in
That's
betting.
exactly
Now,
right,
as
bro.
far as fading in fantasy sports, they have what's called a chalk player, which is a player that is so obvious going to have a great game that you have to have him in your lineup, or you don't even have any hope to compete with the other lineups. However,
So
that can get to such a level that it becomes a case where everybody that does have him doesn't have a chance because somebody else, some other player might have had an outside performance and got more points. And all the people that went with the chalk are now stuck with this guy that wasn't good enough. So that may be a case where what you're doing by fading the chalk is you're saying, I'm taking the player from the other team that this superstar is on, or I'm taking the player that nobody else is. So everybody's taking, for example, a big chalk in fantasy would be a guy like Christian McCaffrey. So let's say he's going up against Miami, right? And you know, and it's the day. It's like and we got Duke Johnson, and for some reason you get the idea he's going to have a performance like he did against the Jets, right?
Yep.
And nobody can really see that because you're a Dolphin fan, and I don't suggest making decisions on your fandom. I'm just saying you have a little closer view on the picture over here, and you're thinking, you know what, man, Christian McCaffrey's chalk. I'm gonna fade Christian McCaffrey because and pick Duke Johnson because
it's raining that day, and Duke Johnson's a mutter,
right,
and his mutter was a mutter, and
right,
you know he's gonna win.
right, or McCaffrey doesn't get the receptions that everybody thought he was, or whatever the reason. You're saying, okay, even if Duke doesn't have as good a day as McCaffrey, he could have such a good day that coupled with your other picks on your lineup, all the people that had McCaffrey are now shafted out because they weren't able to get Duke also because they had to spend all their salary money on McCaffrey.
So
you see what I'm saying? So that would be an example of a fade in fantasy sports.
Aquavision asks, what are the common rules when playing Super Bowl boxes when the game hits overtime? So, okay, sometimes certain bets when they hit overtime, they'll be washed. But more often than not in football, those bets are still alive, guys, still alive. And you're going to see the shelf life of different bets because my guys also bet on golf, and golf, you can make a bet that lives 3-4 days sometimes because it's all where he ends up on his swings and his over. You might be on day one, your bet looks like a losing bet, but then by the end of the golf tournament, you won your bet. It's real fun and dicey and stuff. Same thing in hockey. Say you take Ekblad, 2 goals. You take he's set at 1.5 goals being made or something like that. And you go, all right, I'm gonna go the over. Well, now it hit overtime and they get in a shootout, and all of a sudden you get it. You get your bets or however that works out. It does get a little dicey. I don't know if McDaniel is the favorite right now. Color, if you want to look that up, I'm going to look up this other question right here.
Again, I don't have an odds list
Yeah,
anywhere.
the odds list has become very.
I can tell you that the last time that they published an odds list for coaches, McDaniel wasn't even on it.
He wasn't
He hadn't
even on it.
been on it for like 2 weeks.
I haven't seen McDaniel on it a long time, guys. I'm going to be dropping the link in just a minute, Alexander.
To kind of try to answer Anthony's question, I would say that that's going to always be like subjective to the individual. I can say for myself, and I can also, I haven't been in the weeds on betting as long as I have been playing. I've been doing the daily fantasy, but as far as the daily fantasy, I enjoy making lineups with football more. I have won, even taken a first place in the football stuff, and that's what I gravitate towards. But I found that I actually have more like regular success doing like basketball because I don't really know
Anthony
the sport.
asks here. He goes,
so I have to kind of stick with
the logistics,
rules,
the numbers. Yeah, I know what you mean. Same thing with
no
like
emotion
baseball.
involved. You know,
yeah, there's no emotion involved in baseball, so I just look at analytics and make an educated analytical decision. And more often than not, you're making a bet made on just knowledge rather than any heart or feel.
And the irony is, after messing around with basketball for like 3 weeks straight and keeping tally on who's doing what, so I can make good rosters.
Started fading yourself.
Well, no. What happened was,
you know that happens though.
Well, what happened was I started to be able to talk about who's who in basketball and who's doing what with people that knew, and I don't know any, I don't watch, you know what I mean? Like I could see through their fantasy performance who the big players are, you know what I mean? Like you can start to get an idea of the ins and outs of who's who and who's the elites and who's not, you know, just by looking at their fantasy production over a few weeks' time.
So to get back to Aquavision's question just real quick, and after this, guys, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we're going to round into the Finn's Tailgate. We're going to end this betting segment. We're going to stay on this channel. I'm not going to close this episode out. We're just going to take a quick break, and then we're going to start the Finn's Tailgate show. Sometimes, and they'll be specific, that, hey, if this goes into overtime, no go. All bets off. And that's not uncommon in a lot of like football, college football. They do that sometimes.
Hey, Chris, I have an interesting question I don't mean to interrupt, but it's been on my mind for weeks, and I keep forgetting to mention it to you.
Go ahead.
And it could be something that we need to clarify because somebody else that doesn't know or is new to the whole world might see it and go, "Oh, I'll try that bet." But it seems like it's a total. Like, I don't even know why they're allowed to put it. So you see these 3-way lines, right, during the game. I
do know what you're talking about.
Why would they put a draw? Like, for instance, quarter by quarter, they'll be like, or they'll create a scenario where the bet would literally be something that's impossible to happen. Like in a postseason game, they have the money lines for a draw. Well, it's impossible to have a tie in a postseason game.
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? So
I think
like make sure you guys are thinking of these things because it seems to me that they do put bets out there that are literally impossible to win.
Color, I've noticed, and really this is why I have a problem with some of these betting sites. There's bets that I look at and I love, and for whatever reason, it won't let me bet it. And then I'll go and I'll keep trying to put it, and then before long, it says that it's timed out. I reset it and it's gone.
Right.
You know,
well, that may be because it was actually gone before the screen refreshed and all that.
No, they know that I saw something and the numbers got around, and I know it happened. Then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, no, I know it happened." And because I would imagine that if you went and looked on your computer moments after, it would still be there.
Right.
And then now it got your little bet juices flowing, and now you got to find somewhere to put that money. Right. I'm just saying, I look at all the angles, you bastards.
And real quick, there's something else I wanted to point out about parlays, and also about hedging in general. It's a lot harder to hedge in a parlay because there's certain bets that go against each other that Vegas will not let you put on a parlay.
Yep.
because it actually counters it.
They
So
sometimes they
it's
won't
really
even
hard to
let you,
hedge on an
they won't let you
individual
put it on
parlay.
the same slip as well, guys. So
Mhm.
say you want to take the money line for the Dolphins to win, but you're going to take the other team plus the points, essentially hedging the bet against itself. They see you're trying to fade them, and they're like, But sometimes you can make one bet and then make the other. So then you put yourself in a situation where, okay, I have 10 on this, 10 on that. If I win the one I want to win, I'll win 50. But if I lose, I'll still make $5. You know what I'm saying? They see how you're betting, and they will prevent you from
And
winning
there's
on
some
them.
bets that just literally have a conflict of interest.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's
So,
right.
you know, they do. If that
They do
happens,
monitor this thing.
and you don't necessarily have to get in the weeds and learn what all those scenarios are.
Mhm.
Your betting site will just not let the bet happen, and that's how
Yes,
you
they
know.
will. That's right. And I've tried to outsmart them a couple
You won't get in
times.
trouble over trying or anything. It'll just simply tell you you can't put these two on the same parlay.
So Cap,
You know,
it doesn't have to be 3 games to make a parlay. In fact, you can make a parlay inside 1 game if you want. It just has to be 3 or 2 or more bets that you're willing to say that this is all gonna happen. So say in the Super Bowl, I think that the Rams are gonna win, but I also think that Joe Burrow is gonna throw 3 touchdowns, and I also think that Cam Akers is gonna rush for a touchdown. And they have these options available for me to make these bets, and I take all of them in a parlay to where now, although I might be getting minus odds on the Rams to win and minus odds on Cam Akers, but I'm going to get plus odds on this algorithm works out to where now this triple bet gives me much better odds to win much more money.
Right, because the more
you add
you're
on,
trying to predict, the more impossible it is, more improbable it is for those both events to happen. Even if both events are sure bets individually.
Yep. They don't care. They give
is
you
actually more improbable.
If it's like the Chiefs versus the Texans and you take the Chiefs, and then you also got the Jaguars versus I don't know, the Rams.
Right.
And you go, okay, the Rams are going to win. Even though they're both highly favored, they're still going to give you a better plus odds into it to where it works.
Right,
and
because
that's a way to fade them.
Right,
that's a way to fade
in physics itself, it's less probable that you'll be able to predict 2 exact events happening, even if individually those events are sure things.
Anthony asks,
is what's not so sure.
Anthony asks, Culler, do you agree with Aquavision that baseball is probably the easiest game to parlay in terms of
probably
betting?
Because there's so many different, there's so many different metrics you could base individual bets off of to add to a parlay that, yeah, I would say there's more out there. So yeah, it's probably a lot easier to identify those little Vegas mistakes here and there. You know what I mean? Sure, I could go with that all day long. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I would agree.
No,
with that
I agree, especially because baseball in a lot of ways is lopsided in some instances. You know, when a really great team goes against a really terrible team, it's going to be lopsided.
And the math is very consistent. You know, you can pretty much know that, oh, if this guy is like, let's say a 300 hitter. Now, if your bet is that this guy's going to hit 1 out of 3 times and he's a 300 hitter, it's probably a good bet.
Yep, that's right.
You know?
All right, guys. So Culler and I are going to take a 2-minute break, and
a few moments later,
we'll be right back. We're gonna do the Finn's tailgate party. We're not gonna close out this episode.
Love this guy,
man. Dude, I listen. I got the tricks, brother. I come here prepared, because it's
a madhouse! A madhouse!
Listen, bro, I come prepared, guys. I don't, fuck around, won't be around, and that ain't El Capitan. El Capitan's here for the fun. So give us 2 minutes, guys. We'll be right back. I'm going to put the countdown video, and when we come back, we'll start the tailgate party. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, guys. So go ahead, hop into the backstage. I'll bring everyone out, and we'll start this nonsense party going as soon as the video ends. What's happening, guys? Welcome to Finn's tailgate party that never stops. I am your host, El Capitan, Chris, and this is the party time. I got Culler going to be coming back. Cap for Life's in the background. I'm going to bring Cap up. I'm going to bring up Tony. We're in it. And now, guys, we can start in on what is the problem with this Dolphins right now. It has.
I want to bring up something, actually.
Go ahead, Tony. Tony, you're a little scratchy right now, brother. Usually a little clearer than that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just kind of sound a little robot-y, but go ahead, Tony.
I told you about that mic.
Dude, I'm talking. You know, iPad microphones are not that good. But I was watching Reason earlier, and he was interviewing lawyers, and he asked them, "Can the NFL back out of the deal with Andrew Beal?" And they said no, because they can open themselves up to a countersuit by Beal, saying that you voided the terms of the agreement of the sale. Stuck with Beal. And we can't ask for a new owner, even though he's Stephen Ross. They can't. The NFL can't back out of the sale because it's violating the contract of the sale.
Unless Beal sells it to somebody else.
I think Beal. Listen, we're talking about public perception here. We're talking about potential government involvement. Beal might want to stand clear of the storm coming. And if he's smart, he's not going to want to stand in the way of probably some of the healing that might take place, especially if the NFL is going to come in and take this team away from Stephen Ross. Because guess what? Whether Beal was there or not at all, he's tied to Stephen Ross. And there is an ugly.
It's unfair to Beal. If he wasn't involved, it's just guilt by association. He didn't have any.
I'm not saying it's right, Tony. I'm just saying how it's going to happen. Beal maybe will still have some form of partnership or ownership, but that can also be perceived because of his business ownership and partnership. What's up, Cap? It could also be perceived as Ross still having partnership or ownership over this team. And that might be a fact, because I don't know who Beal is or how he made his money, but I do know he's connected to Ross and a partner in the real estate part that Ross has. So they could say, listen, you can't own nothing or nothing like that or anything you own with it. So it might be a conflict of interest as far as the business goes that Beal has with Ross that might have him excommunicated by proxy. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, some, lack of a better term, some rich white guy might not want to stand in the way of what's probably coming, and probably for the right reasons, where we need more minority ownership to represent the African-American community inside the NFL. It's coming in more ways than one, and it'll be for the right reasons, because we're looking at this Rooney Rule that has been being abused, and everybody knows it. It's like a dirty little secret everybody talks about. I got Logical Guy jumping in here next. So what's up, Logical Guy?
Hey, real quick, Cap, you had an external idea. You definitely got to get the Do It splash screen from Starsky and Hutch.
Do it.
Especially
that and the TO one. I'll grab them.
Especially for the Cashin tickets guy crew. Because,
yes.
Like if somebody says, hey, should I make this bet or whatnot, they could be like, do it.
Do it.
Yeah, good idea, Cap. I'll use that. I'll put that in the lineup, man. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Inspiring growth.
That's it, brother. That's it, man. So
can you guys hear me more clearly now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You sound a lot better, Tony. You really do. So
I don't know what the but I think Stephen Ross hacked into my iPad microphone.
Yep, he's like, this guy Tony's got to go. So
I wouldn't be shocked.
Listen, at this point, I put nothing past the security team of Ross. The only thing I fault them right now is, I don't know. This is the problem when a guy at the top becomes all powerful. You think you have all the answers, and a lot of these guys get
all power corrupts. Absolute power absolutely corrupts.
That's right. And you know what? It's a shame because it's our logo attached. Cap. It's our logo.
Yeah, no, man.
Attached.
Look, Chris, I've been saying it since you've been, man. Thank God you guys have pretty much regulated to the point where you're pretty much coming on board to the side of our voices, which, look, I don't want to divide, but God dang it, man. Like, I know I'm not the only one here, man. Like, the corruption in Miami, I've been saying that for decades, bro. Like, right now, it's to the point where people are using us constantly, and I'm getting tired of it, man.
Yeah, it feels like we're the whipping boy of corruption around here, and we
have absolutely no shred of honor left down in the 305.
They're destroying it, and to me, with all of my perception that this is going to be international, dude, are they going to try to steal my team from my city? Because that's what comes next, guys.
No, if you're worried about London, you're worried about London like I am. I don't know.
I'm not worried about London so much, because
maybe Germany or something like that.
Anything, it doesn't matter. It's just that's the next thing that happens. And I can already see it starting in the fan base. They're like, let's boycott them. Let's not go. That's
not going to help.
No, it's going to hurt. It's going to give them all the power they
What do you think? We've been doing that for decades as well, like flying banners over the stadium. How far is that going to get us, man? We are in and I'm going to pull a page out of TD's book. We are in a new day and new era, to the point where our voices and our faces are attached to those voices. And right now, if you have the nuts to stand up to something that you feel is right, like Flores is doing, man, we got to speak, man, because we're wasting money and money and money, and to the point where, the definition of an insanity. Look, if you let it become insane, you're the problem as well.
Yeah, the definition of insanity is him.
I want to bring up something about ownership. Honestly, I think minority black owners could be the one in what is it called in Denver. I feel that a Spanish owner that owns a team like from the Barcelona owner, because we have a lot of Spanish Europeans here and a lot of South Americans, we can get an owner of Spanish origins to represent the team here, like a owner from the big soccer teams in Spain or something like that, or Italy or something like that.
So
That's
Mark
what I
has
see happening.
Mark has here in the comments. I think once the NFL takes the team away from Ross, they should give it back to the fans like the Packers do. That's a dream, brother. I would love for that. I don't think this fan base is unified enough to make that kind of push.
Yeah, but you
man.
know
This
what?
city
Look,
is
and
too
I don't
big.
want to interject here. I don't, but I usually keep my mouth shut. But at this point in time right now, for the data not to be acknowledged throughout the NBA and what happened with Donald Sterling, like regardless of that being racism or not, the whole NBA got together and said, this is not right. He needs to sell the team. What's the difference between that and this?
Right. Why
Well,
aren't
that's-
the other
that's
why
what's
aren't
coming,
thir-
Cap.
why aren't the other 30 owners coming out and saying we don't want this guy to own this team anymore?
Yeah, they're going to get exposed as well.
Wait
you
a
know
minute,
why,
like they
Culler?
did with the owner of the Washington football team.
Well, he hung himself, and they just jumped on the bandwagon.
Well,
You know
sure,
what I'm saying? And
but
right
we
now,
didn't have to wait for all this other stuff. The owners came out and said we vote this guy out.
yeah, I think Ross has successfully bought his way into the club, and that's the only thing I could think where he felt bold enough to approach his coach with collusion to lose, bro. That's a guy who feels untouchable. And
Yeah, no, he's done everything. He's done everything to the point where he pretty much put money into the community. I get that. He's went to London 3 or 4 times. I get that. He's taken like pretty much a backseat to everything that they wanted him to do. He's done it. But at the same time, I want to win right, man. I mean, there is a phrase, by any means necessary, but man, you got to stay within those lines of being legal. Like, I don't want us to win being dirty. I do not. And right now we're in a state of mind where we already been like accused of being racist. We've been accused of having coaches do narcotics on the freaking training facility. I mean, like, how much more black eyes do you want?
That's right.
Ain't
And
a
Blake,
fan then, Cap. You want to win the right way. You just ain't a fan, man.
you know what? Blake McDonald says in here, he goes, "Where's the evidence?" And Blake, that's kind of the evidence that we're using. We're using the powers of deduction here. We've already had tons of scandals under this owner: Bullygate, Cocaine Gate, friggin'
You want the evidence on that, Mark? Blake, you want the evidence on that?
And in that same breath, when everyone was so certain about Flores being this megalomaniac asshole, there was no evidence to that. And no one put their stamp of approval saying, I know this for certain.
Can I say
what they
something
could say
about
is that he's not personable. And I get it that maybe some of the media members don't like him because he's not so colorful.
Can I say something about evidence?
Please.
Who cares? We don't.
Well, I care about evidence.
Well, no. What I'm talking about as far as, like, let's say the tanking. If you're on board with tanking, get away from my fan base. I'm sorry to say it.
Culler,
get away from my fan base.
We did it with Tua, Culler. We did it with Tua, and we have to embrace Tua.
Well, see, that is where I differ. That's where I differ.
And if you see me as self-righteous for saying that,
you're not.
No,
but you tell me we did not tank for Tua. Tell me we did not tank for Tua.
Self-righteous because I wasn't on board with tanking to begin with. You know, hey, I'm going to put it like this: we were 12-4 in 1982. In 1981, we were 7-2 in 1982 during the strike year. 83, we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I saw that with Shula. Yeah,
we still got Dan Marino. We didn't need to tank to get Dan Marino. And everybody will say, well, he wasn't a first rounder and blah, blah. Look, bottom line, I'll break it down like this. $100,000 times 16 games to lose is $1.6 million. Are you going to tell me that $1.6 million couldn't have been used to find the type of scouting department that found Dan Marino?
So I have something too. You know, I think back to scandals and how this owner has played dirty. And guess what, guys? They all played dirty. I get that. But this kind of dirty it's a different. And
then when the man called it out, he gets fired and he gets lambasted in the media and smeared.
Not only, but I'm going back to a point that no one's made this correlation. But when I seen this happen, I knew it had to be us. So when Laramie Tunsil, the day before the draft, has a video released of him smoking a gas mask bong. And he goes from being a top 3 prospect, potential, top number 1 pick as a amazing left tackle. He slid all the way down to the Dolphins. The Dolphins took no problem grabbing him up right away. Now, I have no proof of this, but I would not put it past our owner to have been the guy that paid that man to release that video, because we didn't botch at it and took it in no problem. And I'm not saying this is a certainty, but that was how I perceived it at the time. I was like, ooh, these boys played dirty. Look
at the correlation.
If it came out that was the way, if this dirt comes out, you'll all have heard it here first, because I'm telling you, that's how
I agree.
I don't want to bring race into this, but I feel that it's because Flores is a black coach and Stephen Ross is a rich white man, and they feel Stephen Ross has the right to get away with this type of crap.
I don't know if
Anthony, at this point in time, it has nothing to do with racism on our end. I mean,
it's more about power. He put power.
He put that class action against everybody else in the league. We've been in that situation before. Unfortunately, we are, pretty much involved with the scandal we've done before. But at this point in time, like, if there's something going on with that yacht situation, and you're going to correlate that to the gambling website that he purchased at that point in time, that is not a good look. That is not a good look.
I was just on TD Finstock. Hold on, Tony. Hold on, Tony. Okay. Hold on, Tony. Hold on. I was just on TD Finstock. Culler was there with me. Shout out TD. Thanks for having me and my guys around. We'd love to be part of the fans and friends and all the massive Dolphins community that we all.
The revolution has begun. You just don't know it.
Yeah, that's right, guys. And so I made this point, and this is the scary point that I have to speculate right now. And I said this on his channel. Flores, as an African-American head coach, is one of very few, okay? If he wasn't an African-American head coach, would Stephen Ross have been so bold to think that he could pressure him to lose games this way? Because he knows that's my point, that he could, I don't know, even be so bold to ask this man to be like that, bro. He
thought he was tight with Brady. He thought he was tight with Brady, and he was mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He thought that this guy was going to be like, hey, no problem, we're going to go hang out with him. No, this guy has morals.
He has morals.
And at the end of the day, whatever you want and what I want, it's different between a guy that's grown and is coaching men and is from freaking Brooklyn, the same place that Mike Tyson grew up. You think you're going to change that dude? No, man. Some people have like morals and pretty much integrity.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to win, but not like this.
I've never seen anything less than that from Flores. Yes, and I also made the same correlation that all throughout 2019, we've seen Flores get in front of the microphone and be asked about tanking, be asked about this team losing. And you saw how angry it made him. And he goes, listen, I don't tank. I ain't no loser. And I'm going to do everything in my power to win football games. And as we got closer to the end of the season, he had those boys believing in him too. And that was the sign of a great coach. And we spit in this man's face. Go ahead, Culler.
And when I was on TD, I mean, earlier, I was so jumbled because I'm, of how this actually, there's so many things involved here.
Thank you, DP.
You were overwhelmed. I know you were overwhelmed.
One of the things that I wanted to point out was that when I said that all of this slander started before he got fired, when he was still in the building, the whole question about whether Flores damaged to his psyche by telling him he's not the guy, whatever, all this stuff. So the word out of the building for the whole season was that Flores was never on board with Tua and he sabotaging him and all this stuff. And I just want to point out that when he was making his media rounds yesterday, they kept flashing this image of him and his family, and his little boy's got a number 1 jersey on. So when he's out in the press conference saying Tua's our guy, Tua is the starting quarterback, and people are questioning that as doublespeak, and saying that he's in the building sabotaging and yelling and flying off the handle and acting like this image that media has projected in our heads over the last 3-4 weeks. Okay. I want to know how a man who has shown us nothing but measured thought, honor, integrity at that podium. Okay. Because that's all we have to go by. I've never sat and had lunch with Brian Flores. Okay, I'm not in the building to see what all these people are claiming about him. Okay, all I can see is what he presents to me. And I just don't, the image that was presented to me by Brian Flores is completely contradictory to somebody that would go home and tell his kid that Tua is the guy, buy him a number 1 jersey, and then go back and sabotage his own son's favorite quarterback.
I wonder if
that's what they're pinning on this man. And what I want to know is, if he was white, would they be saying that shit?
Yeah, I don't know, man. And to make him as an angry person at that,
say that shit about Adam Gase.
You can do that. People do it to me all the time. I got people out here saying that I do this and I do that just because I voice my opinion. You think I'm gonna stop? No, I'm not.
They know that half.
I've been in this game for almost 2 years. I'm not going anywhere.
They know.
A lot of these people come over here, like Culler said, they're coming from Alabama-based bias. And hey, to each their own, bro. But at the end of the day, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong.
The Dolphins
Chris, could I respond to
the difference? Wait a minute.
Yes,
the Dolphins know
let Culler finish.
The difference in imagery that would produce in relation to a black man as opposed to a white man. Okay, they know that, and that's bottom line. And one other thing, Don Shula went through a 4-year season stretch. Okay. Where he was 30-33. Okay. Now, people would say, when I brought that up, people said, well, yeah, but he had already won the Super Bowl a couple times, blah, 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 blah. Right? Okay, that's fine. But how many black coaches, let me ask you, I won't even put it like this. We'll put it personally. How many 4-season stretches at 30-33 has Mike Tomlin had, and how many would they have let him get away with?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that question. You look at the Keyshawn Johnson, and look, I don't put that much stock into Keyshawn. I don't really put that much stock into Keyshawn. But the analysis and the data that he's gone back to the past 80 years, you can't argue it. You cannot.
Now there has been progression.
Four black coaches in 80 years.
Yeah,
right.
that's
people
a
want
sad
to point
thing.
out how long Mike Tomlin's tenure has been, but I'm wondering if it would have been as long if he had a 4-season stretch like Shula did at 30-33.
Yep. And AB has a comment up here. It says, we don't even know if he asked him to tank, but if he did, Ross has all black front office, but he's a racist. And I want to respond to that.
I've known him. I've known Abab. I've known Abab for 2 years almost. Abab, I would love for you to come up here, bro. I don't ask for much in life. Please give me your 2 cents, because at the end of the day, I'm tired. My thumbs hurt. I'm getting carpal tunnel, and I really want to get to know you. I'm pulling a big John right now. I need you to come up to the panel, bro. It's been almost 2 years. Let's do this. Come on.
And if you don't, stop typing that nonsense. Stop.
No, he's good people. He's good people.
I've seen him around for a minute. You could, if you don't feel comfortable coming up, AB.
I don't doubt that, because he hasn't ever blocked me, because we've gone at it on several other chats before.
If you want to hop in, that's good. If not, I understand, brother. I mean, it is what it is. But
Abab, one time, this will be an exclusive.
I don't want to misconstrue what it is, how I view this, because I see all the progression Ross has made. My point about it is because African Americans have been disenfranchised in this business for a long enough time, that when Flores looked to stand up, he looked around and saw he didn't have any supporters. And as they oust him and he was out and fired, again, he didn't have any supporters. So, and I don't know if that's so much a race thing, but that along tied with the type of things that he's accusing Ross did to him, and then the blackballing he received from other places, it looks systematic, where he didn't play ball, and now he's not going to get a chance to do something else until he learns that the only way you're going to be able to have head coaching jobs is if, when your owner tells you to lose games against your moral code, against what you believe in, doesn't matter. You work for me, and I got to respect a man as myself I'm a renegade, and I
And
appreciate the
irony
renegade in
that they
him.
actually
I
painted him-
appreciate the renegade in him to say, "Go fuck yourself, bro.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't
in the
lose from
long run-
nobody. Go fuck."
At the end of the day,
And
who's
in the end-
sabotaging who at the end of the day?
That's
right.
right.
And in the end, they actually had the nerve to actually smear him as an immoral person.
That's right.
On top of all that,
Boom.
Yeah, no,
They're
and
talking.
Culler-
He's
Culler-
immoral,
gets
and he stuck to his
fired
code.
for standing by his morals, and then it gets smeared as an immoral man. While they put pictures of his son in a Tua jersey.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. And
Chris,
we don't
Culler
know.
and Chris-
I heard him make this comment, the comment that if it was my son, how he would treat it, and that's how he acted. And I could only take him at his word because from everything other than what I've been fed through third-party hearsay, his word has been good to me. What he says and what he's meant and product on the field, and as
16 years in the league, Chris.
And
he has been a man of his word to me. And as a young black man that got a head coaching job, I guarantee it wasn't because he made the right friends. It's because he did good performance and he was a man of his word. And that's what I got from him as my coach. Now, firing him the way they did, it seemed personal. And I always said that.
Why would Belichick have him on speed dial if he didn't trust him?
Exactly.
Yeah,
He had to earn this kind of respect.
I also, real quick, Chris, I want to give deference to AB's question. Okay, I do, and here's how. Okay, I don't necessarily think when I said earlier that the Dolphins knew that what imagery they were producing. Maybe I was being unfair. They could have possibly not known, but there again, in today's climate, political climate. Okay, after all we've been through for the last 100 years, okay, how could you not take that into consideration? How could you not know what kind of imagery that slander was going to produce in people's heads?
Oh, please tell me this is Abab. Please tell me this is Abab.
No, that's not. It's not. It's Brian Terry, and we'll get to them. And I want to hear from Logical Guy too.
Okay, hey, wait, real AB, because I know AB hates Deshaun Watson. Okay, so AB. Why don't you go ask Deshaun's victims that?
AB, give me 5 minutes, AB. Come on, man. I'm not asking for much in life, bro. 2 years, bro. 2 years, AB. Come on, man.
Earlier on Deshaun Watson. Don't
AB,
ask
as
why
you can
Flores
see, brother,
come out.
I let anyone and everyone come on here. I won't allow I don't allow any discrimination. I don't allow any uninclusion, and no one is ever silenced around here. As long as there's not slurs and there's not hate coming out of someone's mouth, everyone can say whatever the hell they want around here, because that's how we keep the discussion open. You are always welcomed, and you are always loved, and you will always be respected as long as El Capitan's got something to say about it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, though, man. Like 3 years. That's a great point.
Matter of fact, I'll submit this to you. Not only not coming out 3 years ago was actually the moral thing to do for the rest of the people in that locker room and the rest of the
coaching staff
whose careers were going to be affected by him coming out.
Amen. Why do you think the defense is still intact? Culler's not far off. Why do you think the defense is still intact? If he didn't want to protect that coaching staff, they would be gone by now, bro.
So Q asks this question. He goes, El Capitan, considering that all parties are involved in the tampering scandal, Ross, Greer, Flores, should player affiliation be questioned and investigated?
It could be.
I think it will be. I think
That's
it
a
will
great
be.
question.
Q. I think it will be, and that's when we're really going to get our shit in the mud right there, bro.
Because
now we're deposing players to come on to hearsay, and this is going to be the worst shit ever to this team, this city, this organization of the NFL. And I don't think it's going to get to this point because the NFL realizes right now they're in a very volatile situation with the betting in NFL and how they plan to move forward.
They want
to make this right, bro. They want to make this right, bro, and they need to. Logical Guy.
Can I ask you a favor, Cap? Because I'm just getting really heated right now with what's going on in chat, and I don't get into the chat. Can you answer the question?
Go ahead.
That Aquavision has to AB. This is getting foolish, like Kaepernick comparing football to slavery. Okay, I can't answer that question because I actually am in agreement with them on that.
I agree a little bit too.
But because of my feelings about the Kaepernick issue. So I'll shut up now and let
So
you answer that
I'll
question.
answer it like this, Culler. For Aquavision, I don't think Kaepernick meant it to be a color slavery he was talking about. I think it got a little bit in the weeds on that. What he meant by slavery, in the way I perceived it, is that here are these expensive moguls that are buying humans, poking, prodding at them, weighing and measuring them. And it's, although, yes, they're being paid, but the point
It
in
also
which
goes back to the answer as to why he
point-
waited 3 years to come
the
out.
point in
There's
which
a time and place for everything.
there's a point in which this payment doesn't mean you
Strategical.
own me. You don't own me. Because you're paying me and I work for you doesn't mean you owe me. And we see a lot of this in the business world too, where like a teacher, you know, has a political ideology or something like that, and they lose their job. That isn't how America works. This is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and I'm not seeing a lot of brave, and I'm definitely not seeing a lot of freedom. People have feelings and things. AB, I wouldn't allow them to go at you, and I wouldn't allow them to go at anyone else, because the point of it is that perception is different. Everyone has different colors, different creeds, different everything, and our lives are in different ways. And because of that, we have to do our best to try to understand their perception, to hear them, because although to you it's never in a way you can relate, you're going to have to chalk it up sometimes to just take a person on their word, because it's their feelings that they're talking about. And although the feeling might invoke a opposite feeling for you, this is how we grow as humans. You got to let them know that, hey, I see this is upsetting you. Let's not have this upsettingness happen, and let's figure a way through it, because the conversation can stay open. If you keep it closed, you get nowhere. What?
Chris, could I say something, Chris, real quick?
Yeah, real quick, and then I want to hear from Logical Guy, and then I want to throw it to Brian.
Okay. Culler, and you brought up something, you forgot to bring up something that people actually keep on bringing up, that he was in New England when all those cheating scandals, and I'm like, he was an assistant coach. He had to live. It's not like he had a choice. So why?
How do we even know he knew?
It's not even that. The NFL investigator pretty much said there was no case. So blame the NFL investigator.
How do we know that the reason these things came out into public, it wasn't Flores that was leaking it because he didn't like the scandals happening?
Bingo.
That's how round and round we can go, brother. Round and round we could go. Logical Guy.
Again, smearing the guy's character with no evidence whatsoever. The guy had no power in that organization to probably even know what they were doing. Second,
and you don't want to hope that Flores pretty much knew something that was going on in New England, because if he did know something, and then the investigator comes to him with his claims, you're not going to like the outcome of that, because it's already two birds, one stone, and he kept quiet before, but he did know something.
Guys, it's hypocrisy.
You get what I'm saying?
Standard.
I agree.
Maybe he finally got sick of it all. Maybe he finally got sick of it all and realized it didn't matter if he didn't have any power. He needed to say something.
But I'll tell you what. I mean, still, Bill Belichick.
Everybody has their breaking
for this
point.
man. He has him and talks to him still, so there is a mutual respect.
Correct.
I don't know, and I can't be certain on what I speculate as cheating. Do I think that there's been some refs paid off and potentially some games thrown and won and done some stuff like that with the Patriots? Yeah, I would agree. Can I prove it? No, but I can't do anything about it, because I'm not even.
Cincinnati proved it. And the damage is done, my friend.
I know that. I'm talking about the speculation we're going to go on for the other things.
And nobody is smearing Ross. Okay.
No.
We're actually speaking his own words when we call him insane.
And I know Ross has done shit like this before, because he's already got bitched out and in trouble for things that have happened under his watch. And if you guys come back Saturday, I'm going to let everyone know about my personal experience on Mike on the Mic about how I was treated. That is not dissimilar of abuse of power that I see that happens at the top to their employees, that their employees did to me. And Cap for Life was there with me, and he's going to be there for the story. Before we go, Logical Guy, come on, brother. Let's hear from you, bro.
Really quick, Chris. Okay, this goes back to the comparison we were talking about earlier. We're not smearing Ross, because if you look at the player, if you look at what we're able to see, what the organization allows us to see, and you're gonna tell me to say based on what I've experienced, what I've seen from Flores, as opposed to what I've seen from Ross, and you're going to say I'm smearing Ross like they're smearing Flores?
Yeah.
No, Ross is a liar, and he's a proven liar. I'm not smearing him by calling him a
Ross has got
proven
enough
liar.
money and enough things that he can defend himself. He don't need us to defend
Show
him.
me
I
that.
look at.
He can defend himself all he
show me
wants. He
your
can do
defend
all he
himself
wants when
as
it comes to.
lying.
That's
Show
right.
Look, he
me
can
your
defend himself
evidence.
all he wants.
That's
Show
right.
me your
You can defend
evidence
yourself
that
to
Flores is lying.
Yeah, bro. You can defend yourself all you want. I mean, at the end of the day, like, let's be real, bro. Like, you're defending yourself because of why? Look.
Show me the evidence of the deli clerk at Publix getting told he should have went to Jimmy John.
Before I throw the logical guy, it's Merrill says every Miami fan was chanting tank for Tua. Don't be a hypocrite. I'll be honest, I never wanted to tank. My brother-in-law was all about tanking. He was really about it. I hated it. And you know what?
How far did that get us? Tanking, how
look
far
at
did
where
that get
we
us,
are
really?
now. And this is what I was
Bingo.
afraid of. This is what I was
Bingo.
afraid of. When you
We tanked the wrong way.
Make losing a priority, you become losers. Logical guy. Go ahead, buddy.
Let me ask you this, Merrill.
Hold on, Color. I want to hear
how
from
many
other...
people had a choice.
Hold on, Color. I want to hear from Logical Guy, and then I want to hear from Brian, and then we'll continue the conversation going. Go ahead, Logical Guy.
HB's in the background.
Tony, I see him.
Oh,
brother.
my man.
Go ahead, Logical Guy.
Logical guy.
Obviously, I don't have as much of a connection to the team as y'all.
No doubt.
But I guess from looking at it from the outside in, I see a lot of headlines. I haven't done too much research into it, but kind of like from what I've heard, just like looking into it, I kind of feel that Flores, I've always thought was a good guy. That's why when he was fired, I'm like, he did not have a bad season, and I thought he was kind of putting something together over there. So that's why I was a little bit confused when he was fired at first, because I kind of
it was weird, very weird.
And because I'm like, okay, I understand some of the other coach firings, but I'm like, Flores, I thought he was a good coach. So that seemed a little bit off for me at first, but then I heard maybe there was some bad things about him, but I guess that's just slander being put at him, I'm guessing, from what I've heard. Some of it.
No, but what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah,
do you feel like he's
outside? Yeah, Cap saying from a third party perspective. First of all, you could see it's a shit show, but as somebody outside of the mess, looking at the mess coming to the entire NFL, give me some perception, brother.
Well, kind of like I said yesterday or the other day, is I don't really like with like the whole race issues. I don't really know how you can prove or deny that. Like, you can hire someone to hire someone, you can fire someone to fire someone. There's no real way you can prove it was in a racial way unless you have like emails or direct text that is directly related to that. That's just like with the whole mess of the NFL. And then with the Dolphins specifically, you guys almost need to do like almost like a clean flush because everyone's all related and everyone's I guess I'll put accomplices. There's a better word for that. Everyone's like, whatever's happening, everyone has a benefit. Everyone has something that they lose from it, in that whole organization.
Yeah, I just wonder, it's been widely perceived by anyone and everyone of any color that they look at when you see black coaches interviewing for head coaching jobs, sometimes they're underqualified. Sometimes it's an absolute, I wouldn't call it a long shot. I'd call it just a box checked. And I can't understand it, guys. I'm not the melatonin and I don't understand. And I can't ever because it wasn't happening to me. What I can do is empathize to the fact that they are being used as just a person to be checked off in a box. And I don't care if it comes to race, creed, or color at all. That's not a good thing to do to people, to just bring them in, chalk it off, and fling them to the nowhere.
Yeah,
and
let me tell you something.
Done to a race in a way that we understand that it was perceived, and I don't want to call it a running joke because there ain't shit funny about it, but that's how it is. Continue, Cap. Go ahead. No,
yeah, man. Like to keep up with your pretty much your I mean, look, what you're saying
Theory.
right now is something that needs, no, it's not a theory. It's pretty much fact because I've gone through it living down here the past 4 years. I've gone through it 7 times. I've been racially profiled. I've been let go because I didn't want to fall into place. Like, let me tell you something, man. Miami is a different animal. You either fall in line or you do what Brian Flores said. You put your best foot forward.
Well,
At the end of the day,
as you know,
I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I'm Puerto Rican. My dad is darker than anybody else on this panel. And he had to suffer for years, bro. At the end of the day, I've seen what's going on here. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And that needs to stop.
And you know what, Cap? And as somebody who is a white man, that's not just for people of color anymore. As they've changed the rules to make it more inclusive, to with the rules and even like the Rooney Rule, and said it's now becoming more clear. It's the haves versus the have-nots. And they are abusing their fucking
because down
power.
Here in the 561, if I wear
like,
my hat like this at 2 a.m, I'm getting pulled over too.
That's exactly right. It's profiling and it's going after disenfranchised people that can't defend themselves. And when they box you out and it's this massive force against you that is solo, you gotta take whatever they give you at that point. And it's bullshit. Guys, before we continue on, we are now partnered with Fanatics.com, guys. And in the link below, you guys can hit Fanatics.com and you can find all the sports fan gear you're looking for. Football jerseys, t-shirts, hats, collectibles, merchandise.
Who's that? Jason Sarney?
You know what? I'll get back to you on the logistics of it. But Fanatics.com has all this apparel. You guys can find it in the link below. Keep up with updates because coming here soon, there's going to be special offers that we will get to give to you guys so you can buy and purchase stuff and have your favorite fan gear for your favorite teams. And
I love it, man.
I love it. Beautiful, beautiful things. Soon we'll have a little commercial coming up here. We'll make a little thingy-majiggy, and you guys will have a good time. We'll work these out into some live reads, make it funny. You know how El Capitan.
Take a bow, Chris. Take a bow, bro.
Brother, you have no idea the work El Capitan's doing. Wait till I release some stuff coming out here in a few months, man. It's gonna make everyone happy and proud. And
no, man, you gave me color. I'm happy enough.
The thing I'm gonna bring to the Dolphins community and the YouTube creator community, I really feel will show and express, and Culler knows a little bit of what I'm talking about, how much I believe in the word of people and how much I believe in the connectivity of people, and how if we keep these conversations going together, we will see this revolution happen in the right way. It's not about burning. It's not about hate. It's about
facts, not emotions.
It's not even about facts so much, because that's where we all get in the gray area. Well, we got to understand.
It's got to be about facts. We can't talk out of our asses.
No. I understand that, Cap. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times we're going to agree to disagree, and it has to just go back to loving thy neighbor, brother, loving thy neighbor, man. And then sometimes where I'm not going to be able to understand because I am not this way, I have to understand that that's how you feel, and I got to love you for it. And also, guys, check out the Fanatics, man. Go out there, let them know that the guys at TFTG sent you over there. They'll hook you up. And any questions, you come to me later, and wait till the website comes out. We're going to give you guys special offers. You guys wait and see.
No, hey man, you put me down with that guy, man. You know that guy. Sorry, Anthony. I'm trying to figure out this guy, man, because Chris put me on him the other day, man. Kadeem, that's his name.
Kadeem, man, my boy Kadeem, bro. Go Time Dolphins. They're the best, man. Actually, if anything, Kadeem and Charlie I have Kadeem and Charlie to thank for allowing me to find my voice in this way, and it's a gift I plan to continue to give. That's how I found Culler.
Those are some pretty special individuals.
Yeah, man, he's good people, bro.
He's good people. Bro. Great people, man. Thank you, Dwayne.
He's over at what? He's over up in the pond. He's over up with
across the pond. He's probably watching
across the pond.
Now. Yeah, he's across the pond. And I love him so much. And him and Charlie.
Ennis, I thought you were on Twitter, Ennis.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy wants to come out the woodwork.
I know, right?
Yeah, he don't want the smoke.
He don't want no smoke.
Yeah, he don't want the smoke.
Can I just say something real quick, Chris?
Yeah, and then I want to hear from Tony, and then guys, I want to throw it to Brian because Brian hasn't gotten a word in edgewise.
Sure, absolutely. I just wanted to address a question from somebody in chat about there being evidence that Flores was hard to work with because of the lack of ability to keep a good staff. And again, this goes back to only knowing what the organization wants us to know. We do not know why Shan Gailey left. Let's be honest. We don't know why these people left. We only have the Dolphins saying or insinuating it was because of Flores'
Pepsi
attitude.
boy.
We don't know if maybe Flores fired Shan Gailey out of respect to him because he couldn't do nothing with Tua. I don't mean to relitigate this as a Tua issue, but we're assuming because so they framed a certain image in our heads about Flores. Once that was locked in, everything that went wrong is attributed to Flores now. He couldn't keep a staff because why? Well, if I go based on the image now put in my head, it's probably because he was hard to work with. Well, we assumed that from the beginning.
Not even that, Culler. If this guy didn't want to have any type of minority on the staff, he wouldn't at least hire the amount of coaches he did in the past 3 years he was here. I think he went through like 8 offensive line coaches and 4 defensive coordinators. The guy tried, and he pretty much gave everybody a shot. You can do with that as you will, but the guy tried. So to say he didn't have a Rolodex.
Well, hold on,
man.
Culler. Hold on, Culler. I want to hear from Brian. Brian, go ahead, brother. Brian, you there?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good, man. What's up?
All right. Thank you guys for allowing me on the panel. I've been hearing the argument. I've been hearing the conversation. But let's be real. Do you guys think Brian Flores is going to settle, or do you think he's going to go all the way?
I think he's going to go all the way, man. I really do. I think he's dug in. I think.
What's all the way, though? What's all the way to you?
That's a good question. What is all the way to you, to Brian?
Where they give him a settle.
No, for me, all the way is buying the Dolphins and screwing Ross. That's all the way for me.
You know what, Brian? I think all the way for Flores because I believe in my heart when I look at the man and I've take what I know about him. I believe that it's about conviction and it's about the reckoning and it's about what's right morally to him. And I think that he's willing to go as far all the way in that sense to wherever that goes. And this man is taking on an undertaking that is a subject that is not easy for anyone to talk about. And it's an issue in which he's personally living. And we're going to see coaches just like Ron Rivera and other people come out. And I think it's going to get dark. It always gets darker before the dawn. And I hope on the other side of this, it'll be the beautiful thing I hope it to be. Q, what's happening, Q? What's going on, brother? Thanks for hopping in here, my man.
Yo. What's up, Vince, fam? What's up, boys? What's up, fellas?
What's good? Q.
Blood pressure, cholesterol.
Yeah. Hey, not much. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it because I got guests right now, so I'm attending the guests while I'm doing this.
Oh,
so
goodness.
Real quick.
Well, that's a true fan, guys. Look at Q coming in here.
Multitasker.
All right. To me, now this is my
do it, brother. Do it.
This is what I think, right? Because everything right now, what we've been talking about, what we've been saying on the stream, is all speculation. Until Flores comes with evidence that supports his allegations against these teams and on Ross, we're all speculating, right? So what I'm trying to say is, this is what I think. I think Flores is a crybaby, right? He had a shot for a team to be a head coach for a team. He's crying right now. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they hired somebody else. That's what I think. And Flores is pulling out the race card. That's what I think. And I'm a minority, right? I'm a minority. And this is coming from a minority. I may not be black, but I am Samoan. I am a minority.
Got you.
And that's what I think about it. And according to what you guys were talking about, the case, cases like this most likely settle. And we don't know, right? We're just speculating. Everything we're saying, all speculation. And in regards to speculation, cases like this, they most likely settle. So we don't know if Flores is in it for the money, because he knows he's not going to be coaching anymore. So he's trying to get money that'll last him for a long time. That's the retirement plan.
No, I don't think so.
So that's my
Q. Let me ask you this, Q.
It doesn't
Q,
matter.
Let me ask you this, Q.
Doesn't matter what you think, bro.
No,
It doesn't
it
matter.
does matter because
we're all speculating.
No. Listen to what I have to say.
Right now.
No, Q. Listen. Q. Listen. You're my dog, bro. Just listen to what I have to say.
Go ahead.
Is it not true that the Dolphins were not interested in McDaniels last year to be their offensive coordinator? So let me tell you this, bro. If it's to the point now where nobody else has interviewed McDaniels but us, is that not a red flag for you?
It is. But
Could I also ask a quick question?
As I said,
you agree with me? You agree with me?
It is.
What's the red flag?
That's not a red flag for you. That doesn't sound like entitlement. This guy gets fired at least rapid fast, and all of a sudden you have a predecessor that you've been talking to since last year when you haven't even gone through the Rooney Rule yet. I mean, look.
Listen, we always know that that's how Ross operates, though. We always know that that's how Ross operates.
Listen,
I'm just saying. You guys let McDaniels, but that sounds like entitlement.
Q has limited time, so let him get it out, and I'm going to bring Ennis in next and let Ennis get on this. Go ahead, Q.
Thank you. All right. Listen, we don't know, right? I'm saying we're just speculating right now. We don't know until evidence is provided. We're all just speculating. What we're talking about, it's just speculation. But what I'm saying is, this is from my point of view. Man, to me, man, it seems like he's crying right now, man. He's crying over spilled milk. That's
you might be right, Q. This could be some kind of money grab. This could be some kind of potential political push type of thing. And I understand that there's a lot of people, that's how they perceive Colin Kaepernick to be. And I feel in some ways they're not wrong with the politicizing and monetizing of the issue.
And that case with Colin Kaepernick, they settled.
Yeah, I know, but my point is it's too
why did they settle? You can't settle unless you're guilty.
It's too early.
But you can't. The reason why you settle because somebody wants the money. That's what I'm saying. It goes both ways. If you speculate one side, you have to speculate the other side.
You're not dumb, Q. You're not dumb. Come on, dude. You're not dumb. You're not naive. I know you. You're not dumb.
Go ahead, Culler.
I'm not dumb unless somebody else calls me dumb. So we got a problem.
I just got a simple question.
Exactly. I know you're not.
Earlier, a minute ago, you said that he this is.
I'm sorry, guys. Color, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go right now.
Sure,
no problem. Right now. So,
no problem.
Y'all be safe.
Be
smooth. God bless. I got people that
bless Q. God bless Q. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Q. Yeah, and
go ahead,
I still have the question,
and then I want to throw it to Logical Guy, and then I'm going to bring in Ennis and CT. Go ahead, Color, real quick. Throw it to Logical Guy.
So the question I had for Q is, he had said that it's sour grapes, that he would be going for whatever he could, let's say money, because he knows he's not going to get a job. But remember, why would he think that before he exposed anything? Why would he think he wasn't going to get another job and then do this to go for a money grab? There's a reason he thought he wasn't going to get another job.
Yeah.
Why did he feel that way?
Well, I mean, listen, the rarity of the job itself is
my point is if he's going after money, it's because he thought he wasn't going to get another job. Well, he hadn't.
I don't think it's money because he literally is getting paid for the Dolphins for the next few years. So I don't think it's about money, guys. Logical Guy.
I think the question is being missed. Okay.
Go ahead, Logical Guy. Let him go, Culler. Let him go, Culler. Go ahead, Logical Guy.
When I first saw the racial lawsuit as my headline, the first thing I came to is exactly what you were saying about how the look, he couldn't get hired, crybaby, just wants to try to get something out of it before he leaves forever. Like that kind of deal.
That was your first instinct, you mean?
Yeah, that was my first instinct. As soon as I saw the headline, that was my thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that's before I kind of heard some things bad about him, but I've always kind of liked him. I thought he was a good coach, at least from that.
What bad did you hear about him?
Something he said. Well,
he heard
it's
the
just
same.
What some of the media recently has been saying, but I haven't done too much research. But from what you guys said, apparently that's not as true as it seems to be. Just internal stuff. But I would like to believe that he's a good guy, but he could be exactly what Q was saying. I don't know if it's for the reasons of money or just trying to make a statement before he leaves the NFL for good. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
That's
kinda-
and I
Prospects
understand.
for a
Only
job were
Brian
not in
Flores
jeopardy
knows that
before
answer.
he blew the whistle.
Yeah.
Why would he think? Why would he be going after money if his job prospects were not in jeopardy?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
love
Like I
Culler,
said,
bro.
guys, we
I love
gotta
Culler,
wait
bro.
to see. Ennis, what's up, my brother? Thank you for coming in, man. And then I'm gonna throw it to Kari, and then
And
we'll hear
AB's
from
answer to
CT.
that, AB's answer is that nobody wanted to hire him. Why? Oh, could it be because of the smear campaign? Based on his
got a point.
AB, come on, man.
Anybody would have wanted to hire
Come on,
him.
AB. You're not doing
Culler's
yourself
got
any
a point.
favors, bro. Come on. Come up here,
Come
bro.
on, AB. Hop in, brother. Ennis, what's up, my brother?
What's up with it?
Nah, no, it's just fan base at each other's throat, like always.
I didn't want no smoke, so I was coming to see what the smoke was.
Well, the smoke being is that in hindsight, all the hate talk on Brian Flores looks like he had reasons for potentially acting out of character at times. If he's being blackmailed, if he's being controlled, if he's being abused by his uppers and higher up in a unprofessional manner, that's exactly how they painted him. You know what I'm saying? It's funny to me that after his firing, all this dirt comes out. And then to me, and this is what I said the whole time, and anyone can go back and watch, I said, listen, he can't say shit. He's trying to get a job. And probably in that $5 million contract for those last 2 years, he's still under some kind of gag order through that. We're talking $1 million contracts here, guys. There is all kinds of speculation. It's kind of like when I'll give you a good example, something that I know of personally. Okay. If you own a flooring company and I sell that flooring company to somebody, they're going to not just buy it, because they're not, what's going to stop me from just moving it and starting another flooring company? They get what's known as a non-compete clause. Okay. So they knew that if they went ahead and fired him and smeared him, he can't compete because he's still on the fucking payroll and he's trying to get another job. So I knew that it was just too much of a waterfall of stuff that could have been, and maybe some of it's true. The problem is, how the hell did he keep the job for 3 years up to this point if he's this kind of guy? And how did he get a bunch of players to follow him and be led by him and respected by them? So that's
who
where
could hire a staff with a crap quarterback like we got? Yeah, I said it.
Well, I don't know, Culler, taking shots.
Well, if they want to keep taking
No. He's not far off. He's not far off at all, because we tanked for that guy. And what has that done for us? Tanking has done what for us?
It's put us in the fucking tank, is what it's done, bro. It's put us in the bottom.
Bingo.
And then I want to hear from Chiari.
So this is the smoke I was avoiding. I'm confused right now. I was called out for some smoke, but I'm not hearing nothing.
Nah, hey man, you can go back to Twitter. It's not that hard and difficult to do, bro.
Why are me and Twitter such in your mouth so much? I'm confused on that.
Because it's changed you. It's changed you to somebody that I don't even know who you are anymore.
No, it didn't change me.
What happened to the NS I loved?
It didn't change
now he's on
me.
Cola, bro.
It's like, are you gonna let me talk, or are you just gonna ramble over me like you always do?
No, this is the first time you talk all day. I haven't seen you all day. You've been on Twitter all day, effing around with some people that have been brainwashing your ass.
How they I'm a grown man. Don't know why brainwash me.
I know you're a grown man. So
that's
am
the mistake.
So don't ever call me out and disrespect me in public.
That's the mistake.
You don't even
like
know me from
like
dusk till dawn, bro. You don't know me from dusk till dawn. Don't ever disrespect me again, bro.
Hold on. First of all, since you want to go there, let's tell what happened. Since you want to go there, you mad because you came on Twitter.
You want to assume.
Chris,
you don't know nothing about me, bro.
He's not gonna let me tell it.
Cap, let him talk. Cap,
he's not gonna let me tell it, but you want to call it out. Let me tell it.
No, bro. I've been calling you out all day. You've been on Twitter all day. We've been doing us on YouTube, being loyal. Where you been?
Bro, if you're not gonna let me talk, I ain't got time.
No. Where you been?
Hold on,
Cap. Hold on, bro. Where you been?
Cap, let him finish. Ennis, explain to what you were going to say why Cap feels this way right now. So please let me know. And then Cap, I'll let you respond once I hear what Ennis has to say. So please, Ennis.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
No, thank you, Chris. Like I was saying, he's mad because
Cap,
Let him finish.
Come on. They
Go
see what
ahead,
I'm saying, bro?
Go
This
ahead.
is why I don't come to YouTube.
No, you
Because you got
come
clowns that can't let you talk.
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
No.
Okay, Ezel.
Ease up, Cap, because I want to hear your response, please. Ennis, please get it out, brother.
So we was in the Twitter. I had a Twitter space on Sunday before a game, and a woman was in the space talking about her team. She wasn't a Dolphin fan. She was, I think,
a Baltimore Raven fan that took your brain
it
and
doesn't
washed your
matter,
ass.
bro. See what I'm saying?
It does
Like,
matter.
bro,
Cap. Well, Ennis,
can you shut up?
Ennis, if you hear and Cap, I don't
Can
want
you
to.
grow up?
I want. Can you guys come on now? Listen, and Ennis, at least he's actually listening, because if he's has context to add, I don't want to stop him, but I'm Cap. Please let Ennis get it out, because Ennis is very
my
kind
bad, Chris.
And,
my bad, Chris.
He's very kind, and he's not gonna let his thought get out, and that's not what I want around here. I want to hear him.
Very kind.
Well, kind in the sense that I know he's a nice-hearted young man, or excuse me, not young man. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you young man, but he's a nice-hearted man. So please, Ennis, continue.
This guy's making accusations towards me. He doesn't know me from dusk till dawn. He's gonna know me though.
We're gonna hash. Listen, Cap. We're gonna hash that out. I want to hear what his accusations.
You can't have a conversation with people like that, bro. Like, you want to have this conversation, but you keep ignoring me.
I can have a conversation with everybody else, bro. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this for 2 years. I had no issue with nobody, bro.
Bro, this
don't
is
get
weird,
like
man.
that, bro.
Get it out, Ennis. Let me hear it.
No,
I can't, bro.
You're the first one to say you admired me. You're the first one to say you admired me. Now you
can you put him backstage? Can you put him backstage until I finish? Because I can't get it out.
My bad, Chris. Go ahead, Ennis. Go ahead, Ennis.
I will mute. Cap, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, buddy, because and go ahead.
Thank you. That's all I asked. Let me get it out, and he can say what he needs to say.
He's gonna say.
Is it that hard?
I expect him to. Go ahead, Ennis. Let's hear it, brother.
So if she's a Raven fan, 49er fan, don't matter. She had an opinion about a topic, and in the middle of her discussion, he comes off the mic and interrupts her in the middle of her discussion. I paused it. I said, Cap, let her finish her statement, then you can rebuttal. She started back again. He chimed in, yelling at her again. So I stopped it. I said, bro, you disrespected the rules of the space, and you was disrespecting her. Am I wrong for telling someone to show respect and follow the rules? How am I wrong for that? And you disrespecting a woman that's stating her opinion.
Because you said,
so damn right, I'm not
beating a woman verbally.
Cap, I'm gonna do my best.
How am I beating a woman verbally?
Yeah.
No, Chris, you're doing
because she was trying to make her opinion. Bro,
verbally abusing, Ennis? You're the only woman I'm verbally abusing, bro.
Alex was there.
Fired, bro.
Okay, Smokey. You feel confident, Smokey? Show the crack pipe, Smokey. Who are you talking to, bro?
Hey.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
No.
Smokey?
You know what to take that. Don't take it here.
Crackhead.
Don't take it here.
You smoke woolies. You smoke woolies, crackhead. You smoke woolies.
No.
Don't sleep.
You're my biggest customer. You're my biggest customer.
You're a clown.
You're my
You're a
biggest
clown.
customer.
You're a clown.
Yeah.
I got 2 for $5. I got 2 for $5, clown. I got 2 for $5, clown.
This is not
clown.
2 for $5. Good. You need it.
Yep, 2 for $5 for you. All butter.
Good.
Fish scale, boy.
Great. Good.
Come, I'm the number 1 supplier.
3.5. 3.5. Trust me.
All right.
I know.
All right.
You're my biggest customer.
Listen, both you guys. All right. First of all,
that's why you like watching, because you're a woman abuser.
That's why I don't go anywhere, bro. I've been here before.
Cap, Ennis, listen, first of all, there'll be no women abusing and no crack addictions thrown out and pushed in people's faces. We can't treat each other like this.
He done both. He done both.
I know, and that's what I'm going to get to.
You done fucked up.
Cap, that's what I'm going to get to.
Ain't nobody worried about you, Smokey.
All right, man. You know what, guys?
Brother, when you leave Dallas and come to Miami, holler at me, bro. All you're doing is
I'll be there. I'll be there, clown.
Everybody love everybody! Come on!
Let's go, guys. Come on now, bro.
I'll be there, clown. Ain't nobody worried about Smokey. Ain't nobody worried about you, Smokey.
Well, it sounds like somebody.
You call me out, but I'm the bad one, right? You call me out, but I'm the bad one.
I know ain't nobody worried about you, Smokey.
Sounds like
ain't nobody worried about you, Smokey.
Behind the monkey bars.
Mwah,
Handle their business.
Pepsi boy. Mwah.
Say no to drugs.
Well,
But yeah, you're the one that looks like freaking. You need what? Another 20 pounds on you, bro? Don't tell me like that, bro. Jerry Curl looking mofo.
And you the crackhead that had to wait 6 months to get an up-to-date phone. Okay,
Bro,
Smokey.
say what you will, bro. I've been here before you, and I'll be here after you, bro. Don't try me like that, bro. This is Dolphins community, not Dallas, bro. You live in Dallas.
Who
not
cares,
Miami.
bro? So what? That makes you tough because you're in Miami? Bro, you're in North Carolina because they ran you out of there, bro. Smokey, shut up.
Bro, you see how this guy knows so much about me? All of a sudden now he wants to act like he don't know me.
You can't be using your
Bro.
personal friendship for
Smokey, shut up. Smokey,
bro. You can go back to Baltimore, San Francisco,
Smokey.
Twitter. This is YouTube,
Smokey,
bro.
you mad? You mad, Smokey? Because nobody just
Brother,
mad.
Showtime will put you in check. Showtime does a better job than you, bro. Go back to Twitter.
Never. Nobody put me in check, Smokey.
First of all,
go back to Twitter, bro.
I've talked to Showtime quite a bit. I like Showtime. Great guy.
Yeah, I do too.
On the show, good dude. But I have been in these Twitter spaces where
it's toxic as hell, bro. That's why I stay away from there.
I have been muted and not allowed to talk, while I have been berated on things where when I defended Flores and said, let's get context, or defended about Tua and I had my personal opinions, and I have had them shut up. And that ain't how I get down. Conversations are open here.
But Chris, when you came to mine, did I show you respect?
Of course you did, Ennis, but I wasn't.
Thank you.
I didn't mean you, and it wasn't even.
No, I'm just saying.
It could have been one of his admins that did it, and I've been kicked out of places before. In fact, as a renegade, I usually get kicked out of a lot of places I go because I don't take no shit from nobody. And if we got to go there, I love there, dog. I'll be your huckleberry. I have no problem with that. But guys, we're literally like a bunch of little kids throwing fucking names out here, and it's underproductive. And although it is funny humor, and I see the chat is enjoying the fight. The problem is that what the hell are you two talking about?
I got something to say.
What's up, CT? What's
up, CT? I forgot what I was going to say.
I'll let everybody. So my biggest thing with all this is nobody can say that the NFL doesn't have their issues. Obviously, there's still racism, whether it's, in the population, whether it's in the NFL. Man, there are so many things that are wrong. But the issue I have with Flores is I don't think his heart was in the right place. I think that he wanted to ride on his high horse at the end when things didn't work out for him. And, I think that Kaepernick and other guys, Kenny Stills, and all those guys were better vehicles for change than what we have in Brian Flores. Because whether or not I don't disagree, I think that Ross and, his issues and what the allegations are out there, I don't doubt it with any grain of salt. I don't. But we also have to consider that there are plenty of other teams that tamper. There are plenty of other teams that tank. If we're going to go through all that, let's weed it all out. But let's not just weed it out when it's convenient for one individual. That's really the only issue.
I think that's where we're heading right now. That this ideology of tanking is unethical, to say the least. It's poisonous. It is.
When was that supposed to start? I mean, that's precisely what Flores is doing right now.
Yep, he's bringing an end to something that I'd like to see ended around here. Honestly, tanking for draft status is bullshit because it props up teams that suck that shouldn't be getting in the playoffs. And I got to see me with 10 wins not go to the fucking playoffs because some asshole team's tanking. And then that day they go against us, we underestimate them and they beat us, whatever the hell it is. First of all, guys, this is going to a betting world with the NFL. They're not going to have legitimacy, and no one's ever going to want to put their money on something they think that's being cheated out of. Kahari, go ahead, brother.
Man, I almost forgot I forgot everything I was going to say watching Ennis and Cap go at it, honestly.
I know, right? And Cap Ennis done chase Cap out. Ennis, maybe you shouldn't have gone low blow at my boy like that. That wasn't really nice.
Can I say something?
Yeah, but
go ahead, Ennis.
Go ahead, Ennis.
Okay, so let me finish the story. So the woman she messaged me like, you know what I'm saying, felt disrespected. So Cap thought because we was friends that it was okay for him to just jump the line. Because Chris, you've been in Twitter spaces and you know people raise their hand to speak. So it was people with their hand raised, and he just jumps in the space. I gave him a mic, and he took himself off mute and just the lady was saying something. He was like, "Come on, what are you talking about?" Real loud, like whatever she's saying. She was crazy for saying her opinion, and this is about her team. You know what I'm saying? So that was first of all. When I told him not to do that, he was like, "Okay, my bad." And then she said something else, and you did it again right after that, like twice. So as me as the host of my space, I have to get control of that. So he starts going at me like, "Bro, you getting real funny by muting me, bro. You are cutting the line and you being disrespectful to me and to this woman, to this female." So am I wrong? I'm asking y'all, am I wrong
Yeah, but
for stopping him?
from what I'm hearing from Cap, is that you labeled him as a woman verbal abuser, and that's
Hold
not
on,
a
let me get
label.
to that. Let me get to that, Chris.
Okay,
So
because I got Cap. He
after
jumped in the back, and I want to bring him in here, but I want to hear a little bit. The screaming and fighting,
so
although it's entertaining,
I wasn't trying to do that though, Chris.
I know
I
that,
wasn't
Ennis,
trying to do
but
that.
we're talking about feelings here, as you know, and as somebody
So
like all of
so
us, we get overwhelmed. Go ahead.
so after that, on and every channel, I would be in the comments. As soon as he see my name, he addressing me in the comments, calling me out. You see what I'm saying? I didn't respond for a while, and Gio will tell you.
So you
And
ignored Cap
for a minute in the comments. So after a while, I got fed up. Like every day, you keep addressing me in the comments, calling me out. So that's when I'm like, okay, you want to do it, but everybody's not knowing why you saying what you saying. So yeah, if you want to go low, let's go low. I tried to let it go after the Twitter space, but you came for me. I didn't go in the comments and make it an issue, calling you out. None of that. You started this. So don't get mad when I call you out. And yeah, you abused that woman, so you're a woman abuser.
Well, Cap, I want you to have your chance to respond, but Ennis, I gotta say, brother, I disagree with you labeling him with anything, because being an abuser of women is not a thing you want labeled as, and that's not fair for you to put on him. Now, maybe Cap was a little excitable, as everyone gets, but to then not answer him, that's not a good friend either, man. If you had this feeling about him and thought that there was something that needed to be
Nah,
said,
man, he blocked me. He
that's not
blocked
the
me,
way to
Chris.
handle it. And
He blocked me. Called me
Cap,
a
I can
woman
see you
abuser.
Yeah, that's
Called me a crackhead, and I'm still here.
Hold on, Cap. You was blocked before the incident. You know why? So stop fronting. You was blocked before that because of that chat with Pete. Because of that chat with Pete. You was blocked before that because of the chat with Pete. I told you that.
Ennis, am I lying?
You're lying.
You blocked me
You're
because I'm
lying.
friends with Pete. You blocked me because I'm friends with Pete.
I blocked you because you put me in a text chat with Pete. And I told you that. Stop putting me in there with him. And I told you that.
Bro, grow up, bro. You're gonna call me a crackhead and a woman beater, really? Because of that? Grow up, bro.
Big
I've been here
Kev is in
before
the
you, and I'm gonna be
comments.
here after you, bro. Get used
Who
to
cares?
it.
You want a cookie for that? You want a cookie for that? Because you've been here before and after. You want a cookie for that? You want somebody to pat you on the back?
Stop it. Ennis, stop it. Ennis,
You
stop
saying
it,
that
Ennis.
like you getting
Ennis,
cool
stop
points
it,
for that or
Ennis.
something.
Enough, bro.
You say that like you get cool points for that.
Enough, bro. You're not gonna
clown. You're a clown,
bro.
man.
Stop it.
You're a clown. You're a clown.
And what
You're
makes
a
you?
clown.
What does that
You
make
stop
you?
it.
A liar, bro.
You're a
I'd
clown.
rather be a clown than a
You're
liar.
a clown.
You're a liar, bro.
What I
You're
lie
a liar
about? What
and
I lie
a
about?
freaking manipulator, bro.
What I lie about? What I lie about?
Bro, you don't know me from dusk till dawn, bro.
Bro, that's what I lied about.
Smoking anything else but
That's what
weed
I
with
lied
you?
about.
AB's right.
Is that what I
You're
lied
my
about?
biggest customer,
right.
bro.
I think these guys are about
Stop
to
it,
break
bro.
up.
Yep,
You keep my name in your mouth
I can feel it
more
too.
than my wife do. Nigga, he's a hoe.
Damn, bro. Now Ennis, you calling him a hoe.
Bro, but you got my number on speed dial, right? You got my number on speed dial, right? But I'm the hoe, right? Stop it, bro. Don't disrespect me like that no more, bro. I don't do that to you, bro. I don't call you names. I don't disrespect you. I don't do anything else, bro. You're the one coming out with freaking like I don't get it, bro. We're Dolphins fans, but you want to disrespect me? That's not right, bro.
Yeah,
It's not.
Ennis, I'm not gonna take sides on this, but I see the name calling from one side of this, and people take offense, and
Yeah.
As Cap can contest,
I don't
here in
resort to
Florida,
that, Chris. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you. I don't do that.
Noticed
I don't do that.
And listen, I can see you're excited and upset, Cap, and I know you're probably going at it maybe in a way you wouldn't want to, but I can tell you're really hurt that Ennis is sitting here as a friend that you had assumed is throwing.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
want to say it's racial slurs.
He invited me on Twitter, Chris. I never done Twitter before. Chris, I never done Twitter before in my life. I stay away from Twitter. He's the one who told me go on Twitter.
Well,
and then he
Twitter.
does that to me?
Listen, I get it.
Bro.
I love poking the bear, as you know, man, and I don't give a damn, bro. You can
bro, but when I poke the bear, I'm
things,
wrong. And I wonder why. When I put the bear back, I'm wrong, but I wonder why.
Everybody can handle it all out. But you know what? I got to say, I don't know how excited you were, and I wasn't there to see how you were acting, Cap. And if I
I don't fight for 50 grand or better, bro. You want to put me in the ring? Once I start training for 6 months, you want 50 grand?
No. So
you want me to fight, bro? 50 grand or better, bro.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. What's his name? One of the Paul brothers got that business locked up. We'll figure that out when we get there, boys. Anyhow, I wasn't there for the conversations on Twitter. I know they.
Yeah, hopefully we can figure that out.
I hope.
I'm here, Sean.
I hope Ennis comes back in here and we can hash this out. But to me, it's maybe Ennis was abusing his power on Twitter a little bit. I don't know. But also I see how people on there, they get in and they don't stop with the yelling and the talking over, and there has to be moderation and stuff like that. And Cap, maybe that was how you were acting. But the name calling that comes afterwards will only invoke this kind of result where, bitch, we can fight. You're going to keep talking shit. I'm going to shut your mouth. And now Ennis, I know that Ennis, I'm not looking for Ennis to be offended in any way. But
I don't resort to that, bro. I never called that man a crackhead. I never disrespected him. He don't know me, Chris. Look, I try to be his friend. Chris, I put him through a group chat between me, BJ, Angel, Gio, King Mill, everybody, bro. That man fought with everybody. I had his back, bro. But I'm the bad one? Bro, you went with it with EM. Do I need to get EM on here to prove my point? Bro, stop it, bro. You good people, man, but you need help, bro. Like, you need to get off Twitter, bro.
And Miami Sports Fanatic, Gio. What's up, Gio, guys? If you're not checking out Miami Sports Fanatic, they were on TD's channel earlier today. Make sure to hit on over there and hit the subscribe and holler at my boys. Let them know that El Capitan sent you. He says he's hurt, Chris, but Cap needs to go differently about it, pretty much. Hash it out differently. I understand that, Gio, but you're talking about sense when sense has gone out. And now Ennis is over here dropping comments. You still crying, bro. Ennis, you can come back up here and finish your thoughts. I understand that, but this is the plight of man. And it goes back to what I said earlier about perception and how you feel. And once people are offended, this shit gets off the rails real quick. I don't know what to say about it. Sounds like you boys got.
No, you don't need to say
it,
Chris. You don't need to say anything, Chris. Chris, you are doing what you need to do, Chris, and I respect that. I got my Dolphin logo right here. Yeah. I got my hat on right here, bro. I don't know where he's at, but he needs to, bro. I can't speak for that man no more, bro. All I know is I got witnesses saying he's going at it with 5 other people on this panel. I'm not the one, bro. You figure yourself out, bro. Either you a 49ers fan, a Ravens fan, or you're on board with us, bro.
Well, and he's pretty much saying right now that opposing him is opposing the Dolphins. So I have no comment on that end.
That's what it always boils down to.
Well, I've always said this, man, and I find this more often than not on Twitter. Everyone wants to pull out their metaphorical.
Bro, this man disrespected EM to the point where he called him out. Bro, Chris, he disrespected EM to the point. They both live in Dallas, bro. This man threatened EM for no reason.
You know what? I heard a little bit about this. And EM is a grown man and he could defend himself. And EM, if you want to come on here and have words to say, that's fine. The link is in the chat, guys. We will find a resolution to this one way or another. Listen, we can agree to disagree, and if there's business to be had, there's some monkey bars to go handle it behind. That's cool.
No, I'm like Flores, bro. When you question my manhood like Flores right now, we got a problem.
Yeah, well, I think Johnny in the comments is right here. He said the way to end all this, we all need to take 2 off the roster.
Well, I wasn't gonna say it, but you know,
yeah, that was good.
Color,
That was good.
See, this
color,
is
color.
what
I
little
love
girls
you,
do.
man. We've been
I've been
back.
Little
We've
patient.
been
girls,
back
little
and
girls
forth, but
You all
call out
know,
other
you all
people.
you
know I've
keep
been,
doing that.
Little
You
y'all
keep
little
know
doing
well
girls.
that.
enough to know I've
Hold
been
on,
patient
guys.
the
Don't
last 5
shout
minutes,
over
right?
each other. Don't shout at each other.
Right.
What, innocent little girls do that?
Real
Little
quick.
girls do that. Throw it EM. What are you bringing up EM for? That's what little girls do. Or use a little girl.
Everybody who
Yeah,
knows
all
me,
little girls know EM. That's their answer. Hey, you
No.
know, EM it. I don't think that's.
Hey,
I don't
everybody
see the
that knows
correlation
me
between
knows that I've been
femininity
patient.
and calling on EM.
Hey, everybody that knows me knows that I have
The
had
only
the
woman
utmost
being
patience
verbally
the last
abused is
10
you.
minutes.
Stop it.
Cap. Hold on a
Okay,
second.
sissy.
Hey,
Hold on,
a
guys. Let
second.
Culler get his voice out there.
Everybody knows that the way I am, that I've been patient as I could be for the last 10 minutes, not having interjected anything because I like to interject. Okay.
Yes, he does.
But I want to say something about Tua that is a fact.
Hear it.
There has never been this level of vitriol and divide in our fan base.
Preach.
And since that guy got drafted, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not saying it's Tua's fault. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying that if you look at what's happened, there has never been this level of vitriol until this man's been
It really
on our roster.
hasn't, Culler. And I'll put a
Wrong,
little
right,
bit of,
or indifferent. The man needs to get off our roster.
I'll put a little.
I want to say
Capitan
this.
commentary.
No. I want to say this.
Go ahead,
Can I
CT.
please respond to that? So, Color, I love you. We've been back. This. I'm sorry, but the dysfunction and the garbage in this organization started long before.
I'm not talking about the dysfunction in the organization. I'm talking about the vitriol and hate and division in our fan base.
And I agree, and this is where I'm saying that we had the same.
Oh, that's been for a year and a half.
Division.
That's been for a year and a half.
We had the same division. Let me finish, please. We had the same division on Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, but not like this.
Not to this level.
Not like
man.
this.
Not
CT.
to this level.
I agree.
There wasn't
level,
people
but I'm
so
just
dug
saying,
in, willing to fight and die for a guy that honestly
Yeah,
has
I
given you
agree. I'm
nothing
just
to fight
saying
for.
Well,
that
here's
this-
my point,
this-
CT. Real quick, I'm sorry.
all I was saying real quick, Color. All I was saying real quick, Color, is that we've had that, not maybe to the same degree, but we've always had this same type of dysfunction. That's where I don't believe.
To address
That's why
Tannehill,
I don't believe in this organization.
to address what
and
you
it
said
hurts
about
me and it
Tannehill,
frustrates me.
and to address what you said about Tannehill, this actually exemplifies what I'm talking about. Most of the people that are on the side of Tua know that I'm a detractor. Okay. But guess what? I found interesting over the last couple months. Most of the people that know me as a Tua detractor assume that I was okay with Tannehill because they were. I was fighting the same fight on Tannehill for 7 years. That's why I'm so paranoid about this Tua issue, because I don't want to do it for another 7 years.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
We're
Me too, Culler. Me too, bro.
But what I'm saying here is we're already at year 3, and the hatred and vitriol is far worse than it ever was with Tannehill.
And I agree with that, but I also think that at the same time, there was a lot of misgivings and there was a lot of cushion given to Tannehill, given the fact that he was not a 4-year starting quarterback, because he was a wide receiver quarterback conversion, that I think that some people were more willing to give him time versus the microwave society.
I think that also goes to where
the
he was drafted, though, too.
CT, we didn't have these panels going on back then. We have no idea to know if people would have been like this about Tannehill.
You know,
I agree, but I'm just saying that the expectations of Tua versus the expectations people had of Tannehill are two different things.
No, they're not. Not for me.
Not.
My
They're
expectations were identical.
They absolutely
They're both
were.
first-round draft picks, and I expected them to be
I gotta give you a
first-round
little bit of
draft picks.
pushback on that. If anything, I tempered my expectations for Tua because he came in the league injured, bro. And you know, as Los Dolphins fanatics, Canal, whatever is down there. I'm sorry, brother, I can't see. It's a little small for me. Flores did not bring these vibes, bro. This ownership brought these vibes. And I'm telling you, when I seen Tua come to this team, I have never seen a political, massive flowing of people that are now Dolphins fans or were Dolphins fans and have felt emboldened to speak up because they feel like this is an issue to fight for. But I feel like
nobody ever questioned my character when I said something negative about Tannehill. Nobody ever said I wasn't a Dolphin fan. Nobody ever said I didn't know football. Okay. Nobody said that shit when I went against Tannehill.
I agree. I think that Tua in the situation going on is much more divisive, but we also have to say the same way that during Tannehill's. No, I agree. I agree with that, but I'm also saying that there's differences in the fact that the organization was willing to deal with Tannehill, hoping that he was going to improve much less in the same degree with Tua, for the simple fact that, again, whether there are people who say whether it was race involved or whatever, but I don't believe that. But I think that there was, to a degree, the fact that he was a conversion from wide receiver to quarterback, that the organization was more willing to give him leeway versus a Tua who was supposed to come out with large expectations, which I agree. Tannehill was drafted 7th for this 5th, but they're not in the same stratosphere. And the fact that Tua was the most effective, efficient quarterback in college football history, we had much more expectations of Tua Tagovailoa, even coming off the hip injury, than we did with Ryan Tannehill.
And with good reason.
Yeah, but CT,
I
agree. With good reason. Yes, with good reason.
Here's the deal, CT. This is, and I'll make this correlation for Culler in some ways. Have we learned nothing from the Tannehill debacle to know when we are making the same mistakes, giving the same excuses, giving him millions of coaches, getting a coordinator, and we will then. You know what I'll hear? You know what I'll hear next? I'll hear, you know what? He needs this to be better. Go buy the best wide receiver. He needs to figure out the deep ball. It's the same thing with excuses. And as we see by the quarterbacks that have been playing in the playoffs and having wins the last few years, these young guys should come out with talent enough to supersede all of this. And
Chris,
I haven't
that's a
seen
good
that.
question.
No. Chris, can I say this?
Wait a minute.
I have
That's a good question.
add.
Wait a minute. That's a good question. And when we ask it, we get told that we get our character called into question.
I don't give a shit what people think about my character because I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying what's causing the division in the
Hold
hate.
on, I'm talking about. Me either, bro. Get into that, man, with the RPO. We cater the RPO. Charlie Fry. You want to cater to that? Come on, man. How much filing do you want? This is battling.
Cap, before you
Cap,
start going on the road.
Cap, you're breaking up bad, man. Go ahead and close your phone down and jump back in because you need to catch your single. Go ahead, Brian. You're breaking up real bad, Cap. Go ahead.
Yes. So the first thing, well, just to say, because the fan base is divided, you have to get to a lot to get divided. I mean, that's just that's not a good argument. But you did make a good argument. Yeah, people are getting divided. And as far as Tua, you gave Tannehill 7 years, but we're telling to give Tua 3 years, right? We already said and established the middle ground that yes, if he comes this year and he doesn't perform as we expect him to do, then we should be able to get another quarterback. And then also with this whole lawsuit right now, this Watson narrative, it's already dead. It was already like a 5% chance that he wasn't coming. Now with this lawsuit, to go forget about it. We already discussed what other possible quarterbacks that you have out there that would make sense when you could just stick with Tua and see what he does. You have to stick with Tua.
And I agree, but can I jump in real quick because I don't want this. I don't want this Color, please, because I don't want this point to get lost. So this is what I was trying to argue to you, Color, and I agree with everything you were saying as far as the difference in expectations. But my issue is there was a difference in expectations, but there was also a difference in everything that we did around them. For example, Tannehill never had any tangible competition to him throughout his 7 years with the Dolphins. But since Tua was drafted, Watson was always hanging over this young man's head every single day. And I think that those two things, I agree, it doesn't change how Tua should have performed, but you can't discount how that affected Tua as a player. And I think that makes huge difference.
I'm going to give you some
players in the
I'm going to
NFL
give you
deal
some
with that
pushback
every day.
I'm going to give you some pushback right now, CT, because Tannehill never had any competition, and Tua can't handle any because he couldn't compete with a guy that ain't even on the fucking team, bro. So that's competition. And for me, as a man, as anyone, I don't cry over spilt milk. What he should have did is prove that you don't need another quarterback. I'm the quarterback of this team. And that's what I wanted to see from Tua more than anything.
Yeah, I don't
not
agree
wins,
with
not
that,
losses.
Chris. I love you, but no,
I do. I agree with that. I agree with that.
No. Let me push back. To try to compare the ability or anything of Tua versus Ryan Fitzpatrick as a 14-year veteran is absolutely asinine. On top of that, to try to compare Tua to Jacoby Brissett, even though Jacoby Brissett was absolute garbage, the experience in individuals in a NFL game at a top tier game, the pro NFL level where there is no disparity between teams. Yes, there's, to some degree, yes, every team is a little bit better than the other, but every given Sunday, there's that opportunity. And in college football, it is not that way. That is not how things work in reality. So you're now putting
I'm
the
misunderstanding
best
you
against
here,
the best.
CT, because
talking about
you're telling me
Watson.
there's no competition in college. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Well, okay, there is, but I want to tell you this, and a lot of people
Tua
don't agree.
Took the job.
Let me finish. Okay.
Tua took the job from Jalen, did he not?
He did, but that's not what I'm saying. You have to understand the disparity between teams.
No.
I'm talking about disparity between teams.
You have to stop
Cap.
those,
Let him
CT.
finish,
He just
CT.
told you.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Cap, continue, CT, because
all I'm trying to say is, so a lot of people know me personally. I do what I do for my job. I have AAA baseball athletes versus MLB athletes. I have significant amount of both. Now, my thing is I have I like to use this reference all the time. I had a young man 2 years ago who he was 18 years old, really great player, really sweet young man, dedicated to everything he wanted to do. He came in everything we asked him. But the problem is he was throwing a 95 mile an hour fastball maybe 20% of the time. So that's not going to get you to the MLB. It's just not. And you have situations where, again, in college football, there is a disparity between teams. There are some who have absolute Alabama and all these high recruiting programs who have absolutely amazing athletes, who have young men who are willing to put all of that on the line versus other teams where, yes, they're pulling young men who are great individuals, but they're not physically and athletically as gifted. And so you have to take into account that in the college football realm, there is a huge disparity in talent. But when you get to the NFL, there is not that same disparity of talent. All of these guys are the best of the best. Are there guys who are better than others? Abso-freaking-lutely. That is not a question. That's why all pro and Pro Bowls Pro Bowls are more political. But my whole point is again, there are guys who are more physically gifted than others. But the disparity between teams in college football and the disparity between teams in the NFL are completely different. And that's all I'm trying to get at.
Thanks for
that. I got to be honest, CT. That sounds like an excuse.
Yeah,
for
I'm
Tua.
I'm trying to.
If anything, you're only making my point that he's subpar talent-wise. Because
that
if
he
it
shouldn't
was,
have been a 5th overall pick. That's all you're saying there. We agree.
I agree. I've never denied this, and
if this is what you say, his 20% fastball ain't worth a shit to me as a quarterback,
right?
Bro.
And CT, and all I was saying earlier was when we
a
point
cut our
that out,
losses.
we get insulted. We never got insulted when we pointed that out about Tannehill.
Oh, I don't care about
I
insults,
agree.
bro. I don't care.
Well,
either.
yeah, because
I'm
we
talking-
were
but
insulted
the
because
whole-
I
the
was
whole
a
subject of the
Tannehill defender.
conversation was
But
about the vitriol in the fan base and whether it's been different since Tua's been here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I defended Tannehill
I agree
in
with
a
you
lot of
saying
reason.
there, and I think that
I agree with you.
yes, it's much
Chris, I agree with you.
So if we fired Flo,
I do.
we
I
fired
agree with
Flo
you.
because he's volatile and it caused a volatile situation, why are we even questioning whether we should have Tua on the roster? He's
right.
part of it.
It's not
because
just that.
my issue with that is again, given all the retrospect and everybody has hindsight is 2020, you can say yes, absolutely, I agree, without having the standard workouts, with Tua being injured, with COVID changing all of those things. Yes, absolutely, I agree that Greer and the medical staff of the Dolphins made a decision that they felt was best for them.
Flores, where is the deference for Flores that you're willing to give to Tua? That's my only question.
So in the same breath, I could say Flores had a subpar injured quarterback that can't compete because he was so set behind,
So
and
he
that's
got
his
held
starting
responsible
quarterback.
for Tua's injury.
You can make the argument.
I love this guy, bro.
I can also make the argument real quick. I can also make the argument that neither Flores nor Greer nor the offensive staff that Flo brought in could produce an offensive line that was conducive just the same way that we made the Culler. Let me finish. Just the way that everybody wanted to give Tannehill crap about not being a good quarterback in Miami, but he went to a team in Tennessee that was willing to build around him, and he plays above average. Is he great? Is he going to win them everything? Absolutely not. But you cannot discount the fact that Miami continued, whether it was Marino, whether it was Chad Pennington, whether it was Matt Moore, whether it was Tannehill, whether it was Tua Tagovailoa. The offense has always been subpar, and it has always allowed this team, despite having good defenses, whether it was Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas, the whole 9 yards, we've had consistently good defenses. The problem is our offense has continuously been crap.
And I agree with you.
You cannot continue to blame one coach after another, or player after player. You have to start saying, is the organization making the right decisions based on the weakness of this team? That's where
one guy is still in the building and the other. Wait, one guy is still in the building and the other is getting blackballed for another coaching job.
But here's what I look at, guys. I see the last time this offense did anything was because of a good QB. That's it. And that's how you fix all this nonsense.
And
if you can get lucky enough to get one of these QBs.
And what QB was that?
That was Dan, buddy.
Jay Fiedler. Whether you like it or not, Jay Fiedler.
Jay Fiedler was still systematic, bro. I'm talking about, and the rules and the way the game is played has changed as well. If Dan was out now, he'd throw 7,000 yards, and I don't think anyone's willing to deny that.
Yeah.
My point is that you got to keep taking your shot for something that gives you such a competitive advantage like that. And then I don't want to hear excuses about everything else, because Dan had jack shit a lot of times, not all the time, but sometimes, and he made it work. And I'm looking right now at Joe Burrow in the playoffs with a shitty line, with weapons that before he got there weren't weapons that were good. And this is the kind of stuff that we got to understand, guys, is that everything I can put into context, and I could take the blame that someone else didn't have success on all the counterparts. But in a quarterback position, you have the easiest time having the most impact on the game because you're the one holding the football. Literally, when you say the ball is in your court, this guy has it in his hand. He has the most control over the narrative of the game because he's the one with the football. Now,
and I agree, but here's my only pushback.
Here's context.
Here's my only pushback on this.
I know. I almost know what you're going to say. I get the context. That's why I say it didn't matter. That's why I say it didn't matter to me, CT. It didn't matter to me about wins, losses, or statistics. What it mattered about, and it's not heart, it's killer instinct as an athlete to know, bitches,
I
I'm coming
agree.
to get it.
Because Big John and I and Cap and I, we've talked about this so many times. I'm not disputing that fact. I'm the prime example, and Cap knows this. As I've said it hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to prove me as I'm a tuneer and I'm just going to go all. No, I'm not.
No,
I've
bro.
said
you know your stuff. You've been calling it for a while. You know.
No, CT,
I am all about this right now. I don't care about the quarterback position. The quarterback position is secondary to me in the fact that throughout history, and I just went on, if any of you watched the ESPN 55 for 55 of the NFL championship rings, and they talked about every single starting quarterback in those games, 27 out of 55 were subpar to shitty quarterbacks. It was the fact that they had good teams around them. And this is where I have the issue with Chris Greer, and I do have an issue with Tua. I do believe that he needs to make improvements. He needs to prove to us that he can be that one. Do I believe that? Until there is a team around him to show he's not the one, I still have deference. But I will not change my view and my opinion on the fact that I would rather field a competitive team and have to fill in the quarterback spot if Tua doesn't work out, which, again, that's a whole debatable thing, and I'm not going there.
I agree with that.
I want to build the team first. We can plug in the bullshit later. And that's where I'm at with it.
Here's the difference I have right now, and then I'm gonna step out for a second. I'm gonna let Culler hold on to this. And Culler, make sure to give everybody a chance to talk. But we have a precarious situation, Dolphins fans. We've got draft capital, we got money, and there's people that we could potentially pay to come in here and fix this situation. And it's not a circumstance that's always available. And I'm not talking about just Deshaun. I'm talking about other quarterbacks where we got to start thinking outside the box, because some of those championships that you just talked about, I look at Denver, and they didn't even draft Elway. They went and bought him too. And I'm willing to buy a championship. And I don't need I think so many of us look at the Patriots and think, you know what? Let's build that way so we can have a dynasty. Bro, let's just get a damn Super Bowl. Worry about a dynasty later. Get someone in here talented enough to build a dynasty around. Bro. And when you talk about perfect team play, that's done in a heart instant. Not so much about talent. That's about men and leadership and everyone being held accountable for what they're doing. My point is,
it's also the communication between one another and the trust between
communication.
Players.
That's right. That's what I get to the heart. It's trust and it's love. It's everyone moving to a common goal. I see a divisive figure like Tua in here who's being not held to the same standard as everyone else. And it's by the excuses. It's by the ownership forcing. Right now, it looks like, and this is the perception, and I don't know if I believe it, but the perception is that if you're going to be the coach of this team, you have to keep Tua as your quarterback. That's no way to build a team. You've now taken one man and made him more important than the team. And Flores preached that a lot, and he said it a lot. He goes, not one person is more important than the team. And this ideology is a winning one. It's one in which it's a team, and I agree with that.
And I agree.
Then I get more to what's skewed in the rules. You need a good quarterback that can do good things. And we're talking about one who has been injured for games in the NFL, came into the league injured. And I'm not saying he can't grow past it. He might never have another injury, but I can't go on what might happen. I can only go on the data I got. And the data I have is that it's not good and it hasn't been working. And you're talking about building perfection all the way around him to mask inefficiencies. That's what I'm hearing. It's masking his inefficiencies. I'm not
saying that. I'm saying I want to focus on building a team first. And then because
that for 25 years.
We have not. Culler, please tell me. Please, Culler, tell me. when we had Chad Pennington.
The O-line has not been said. The O-line has not been said.
Hold it down.
Let him finish.
The unicorn is like the last time.
Hold it down, Culler.
I'm not gonna lie. Let me say
No,
something.
Culler, I want to push back on that because here's my thing: is I know what you're saying, but in reality, it's never happened.
You don't know what I'm saying.
Have
You
they
don't
put the
know what I'm
effort
saying.
in? Culler,
You don't know
really
what I'm
quick.
saying. Stop telling me
I
you know what I'm
do.
saying
Oh my
when you're
God.
when you're
Hey,
first of all, you're
hey, my
strong
man's been waiting to talk. Who's that guy, dude? In the fourth
you're putting a
square.
Martin Bailey
That's
in front of
me.
me, and you're not even arguing the point I'm trying to make.
I can't see your name, bro.
It's Brian.
Brian, go ahead, Brian. Have the floor, man.
Yes, Cutler. Yes, I know we go at it all the time, but we
go
always
ahead.
meet. We always meet in the middle ground, right? And just what everybody's saying on the panel. Anybody with common sense, and if I'm a new coach, if there is a proven talent out there, I'm going to go get it. But to me, it's just Deshaun Watson a bust. I don't see Aaron Rodgers with a 9 out of 10. He probably most likely going to Denver. And I already made my argument about Russell Wilson. We're going to have to still build that perfect team because last time Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl is when he had a elite running game. He had a great defense, what they call the Legend of Booms, and he was on a rookie contract. I'm saying the only person that really makes sense for me is Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson, which already is a dead horse because he's not coming here after this lawsuit and all the Flores thing, and he had made a stance where it was Eric Bieniemy or whatever about having black coaches, hired and, just Dolphins with that stigma. Watson's out of there. So to me, it just makes the sense that, okay, Tua's our quarterback. To say Tua is a bust after 2 years, that's asinine. And most people were saying Josh Allen wasn't really good, but now look at him in his 3rd or 4 years. So people have the ability to be able to turn around. Like I said, so we really don't know. We hope Tua will go out there and fix his mechanics. We hope Tua will go or do that because, Tua's our quarterback for this offseason, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, Brian, this year. Brian, this year. This is the year. This is the year.
Hold on, guys. I want to answer to what Brian just said. Okay. And I completely understand that. But we're not talking about we're talking about picking and choosing who we give that deference to. Okay. Because we have a 23-game sample size for Tua. Okay, we have an 8-game sample size for Josh Rosen on a team that we all agree was gutted worse than the one Tua is working with right now. Okay, so what I don't understand is why all of a sudden that one person can grow and has all this ability and our eye test means nothing. But somebody made the eye test about Josh Rosen and we all agreed. Why? Is it because he looks goofy? Is it because what are we talking about here?
Cutler, but that's a different argument.
Can I say it real quick?
All right, CT.
Can I say this real quick?
My point was I don't agree with going with Josh Rosen. My eye test told me the same thing. But my eye test is now being challenged on a better team with a worse quarterback.
I agree, and this is where I was trying to say.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
Color, you were saying that I didn't understand what you're saying.
Brian?
I did.
Brian, how can you say that?
The offense?
We went 5-11 with Josh Rosen's team. We went
10-6
and 9-8 with the one we have now.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to get at, though, is it's the same situation of rookie quarterbacks. Well, Rosen wasn't rookie, but he did have a little bit more time than Tua did. But you have to put into perspective, they were still young guys. They weren't given the reps. They didn't have the opportunity to learn the NFL game. Just the same way, yes. I think that Rosen was going to be? Was Rosen going to be the next Dan Marino? Absolutely not. Is Tua going to be the next Dan Marino? Absolutely not.
Rosen was a sacrificial lamb. Let's be real. He was the sacrificial lamb. He was less than a year here, bro. Like,
wait a minute here.
We were tanking twice. Let's be real.
Wait a minute here. How do we know what Rosen would have been? The same thing that Tua ears tell me when they say, "How do I know what Tua can improve on or not?"
You just said it, Culler. What if? Like, they were ready to get rid of him. There was pretty much
okay, and this is where we come together, okay?
Yep.
Because we are now deciding as a fan base that we're back on hope. instead of what's
Yeah,
real.
I agree.
That's fair.
And that's what I was trying to say
And I'm
is
telling you
I'm
that
tired
that's
of
not
the
what we
hope.
were sold by Ross. We were sold.
I agree.
We were
I
sold
agree.
a quarterback that could literally get us there on his shoulders. Now, whether
No,
that
we were sold more so than by Ross. We were sold by Greer, who came out and continued to tell us year after year after year, I'm going to build a sustained winner. And that's full of shit, and it's bullshit.
Right. And
that's where I don't think that. Again, there are so many what ifs with the Tua situation, whether he's going to be the guy we wanted, what we hoped, and whatever. And just like you say, Culler, I'm tired of the hoping. I'm tired of the hoping and the wishing. I want to see something that's tangible. I want to see something, whether that's what I was saying. If we allow us to build a team, and then if we have to plop in a quarterback, I'm all good with that. But that's where I'm trying to say I don't want to keep putting hope in a quarterback, hoping he's going to continue.
We got you. Let me go ahead and address that. Okay. When I'm all for building a team too and plucking in a quarterback whenever he comes along, or going with Tua to get that 1.5 extra games that Tannehill got in Tennessee. Okay. I'm fine with that. If that's what we're all deciding as a fan base, we're fine with. Okay. But some of us here have been only fine with it beyond that, because we could have got that with Tannehill too. When we got rid of Tannehill, it was because we finally decided that a guy like that on a perfect offense will never get us to the Super Bowl, and we want a Super Bowl. So if we're now changing our minds and deciding that mediocrity is fine, then yes, let's buy 1.5 extra games for Tua by building a perfect team around him.
Well, that's not.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say, Culler, is if we go and we build that team and we get that 1.5 extra wins, but then we have the opportunity to upgrade the quarterback position to take us to that next level. That's where I want to say,
when that opportunity comes along, our team is not going to be perfect. Defenses don't last forever.
Do you trust the front office with $70 million? CT. Do you trust the front office with $70 million?
Give me
So
that
Cutler.
$70 million and let me spend it. That's what I think would happen.
So Cutler,
let me
what?
have that money.
Okay, so I know you want to get. I want to.
Sorry, Brian. Go ahead. Real quick, Brian. Before you go, one other thing along those lines is that if we've got gobs and gobs of money right now, we build that perfect team, right? And then what money do we have when a Watson comes walking along? What do we have then to give him?
But that's the okay. But
we can recover the rest of the team after getting a guy like Watson. We can take 1 or 2 years to build that back up to where we're at now.
Let Brian go.
Nobody on the panel is arguing if Watson is available, you don't get him. That's nobody's arguing. That's nobody argument on the panel.
But it's not just Watson. It's any level better than we got, than we've seen.
It doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense if it's not Watson. I think it's a bust. Like I already listed.
No, I don't agree with that. I agree that there are situations.
Our team is just crap, and that's the reason Tua doesn't look good. Okay.
No,
CT, what was that? CT.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say this is I think that there are circumstances where, again, even if we brought in Aaron Rodgers and we allowed Tua to sit and learn, the thing is I don't want the short-term fix. This is where I said before, I have the issue with Greer. I want a long-term, sustainable winning team. And if that means that we have to fit the cap space for an elite quarterback to plug in, and we got to, maybe lose some guys here and there on the support side, I still want a full team built and allow the quarterback to come in and win that versus we built a team.
Explain to me Tom Brady and Sam Bradford. Bradford. What's his name? Bradford, right?
But
the difference between Sam Bradford and Tom Brady is twofold. Number one, Tom Brady has twice as much experience.
Yeah, but they were plug-in players. They were proven plug-in players. I know, but they were proven.
I agree.
Plug-in.
I'm not discounting that. But you asked me a specific question: the difference between Sam Bradford and Tom Brady. So I'm telling you, the two major differences is number one, the amount of experience. Number two, yes, absolutely. Well, Sam Bradford, he had crap teams before he was traded to Los Angeles. He won in terrible situations, and so did Tom Brady. He had, 7-11 wide receivers, just like Tua did, and he made it look decent. But the biggest issue is not only the experience, but the biggest number two difference is Tom Brady had the ability to lead a locker room. He did not only because of the experience, but because of his success. And that's where I think there's a difference.
Tom Brady, hold on. You want to know what I seen from Tom Brady that I seen early on? Not early on. In the beginning, they won on team and coaching. You know what I seen from him a lot, though, is that killer instinct I'm talking about, where he's going to come out there and cut your throat. You knew when you played against the Patriots that you needed to go down to score to win towards the end of the fourth. But you knew if you left too much time on that clock, you were going to lose that game because Tom Brady was going to come back and cut your throat.
And to Chris's point, that shred of hope that you guys actually that everybody expects us to have, that I can actually find it. That shred of hope that I have that Tua is going to prove me wrong comes from a chip that he now has on his shoulder. Believe it or not.
I hope so.
That's the irony.
I hope so, and that's the hope of it.
I'm sorry, Chris, to cut you off.
Go ahead, Brian.
CT, you literally just made my point. That's why I said Deshaun Watson or bust, because Watson is young. Right. He still have a ceiling that he haven't even reached yet, which is why it will make more sense to go for a Deshaun Watson. And then not only that, if you're going to go your route CT, you might as well just build around Tua for the this offseason, go draft a quarterback in the next draft. And then we have a whole lawsuit where we don't even know we may even have those draft picks.
Draft picks might get taken from us.
And I agree.
Brian,
but
I say go do it now before they can take it from us.
And real quick,
but the thing is, does Watson want to come here?
To that point, Brian. To that point,
hold on a second, guys. I'm going to let you take it. I got an issue going on with my cat. He's got he brought a rabbit. He killed a rabbit. My cat's a murderer, bro. My cat's a murderer.
He's trying to show you love, Chris. He's trying to show you love.
I know. Well, no, he likes to.
Hey, cats are jerks, bro. They think that we're inept and we can't do it ourselves.
He's a good cat. He brought it to me.
Chase the rabbit, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
You buy Bug Glades? You buy Bug Glades, no?
No, I'm up in Charlotte County, Lee County area. So no, not by Belgrade.
Yeah, but you know that why cats do that, bro. Cats do it because they don't think you can care for yourself, and they think they're helping you.
You know what?
Go Google it. Go Google it, bro. They're crazy.
Don't look into their eyes, Chris. Don't do it, Chris. Don't look into their eyes, bro.
First of all,
no,
I
had
that
my
eyes deep all the way to the other dimension, dog. I ain't shook on that dimensional
father,
shit. Come get yourself some.
Nah, my ex-wife's father was an animal behavioralist, and he actually worked with the first monkeys in space, bro. He had cats and dogs, bro.
No shit.
He tell you some shit that makes you flip your mind, bro.
He works with monkeys.
Animals
he should come in here and deal with my
shit,
upper management of the Dolphins. Ba-zing! Ha! Got you, bitches. All right, hold on real quick, guys. Make sure to also check out Talk TMI Tuesdays game show. Also, right after that, we have Mike on the mic with Open Mic and Drop the Mics at 10 on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Today is usually Cashin tickets with Brandon the Bookie, Big Kev, and the Wizard of Oz. We're saving that up for all the big-time betting that we're going to be having on the Super Bowl and everything. And you guys will soon coming at you here directly. We'll have late-night color commentary. Everyone loves color, and everyone loves to argue. And Culler has got some smarts, so he don't mind, and he's able to toe the line and keep it in.
I hate arguing. I wish y'all would just believe what's out of my mouth and take it for what it is.
You know why? Because I'm right. I'm right.
That would be too easy, Culler.
So hold it down for a second, Culler. I got to do something with this cat right now because, I mean, he keeps bringing it back in the damn house. I got to handle this shit.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's a dead rabbit. You know what's funny? He brought one home like this big once when my sister was visiting, and he got all excited. He took it and flung it, and it hit her almost in the face. It hit her on her shoulder, but, I mean, he flung it. My sister's not short. She's almost as tall as I am, which is I'm 5'9", so she's like 5'6". She's not a little girl. But it hit her right in the shoulder. He almost got it right in the face. It was hilarious, guys. So I'll be right back.
These cats, bro, they think that they're helping you. They're bringing you dinner. Right. That's what they think they're doing.
You don't want to get
I
thrown
just can't
out of
look
the
in
group.
their eyes, bro.
I'm gonna look right in his eyes after I drop a bunch.
This dude is sold.
Nah,
Yeah,
they ain't got
until
it.
he scratches the crap out of your face.
Nah, I ain't shook. No, I ain't shook on most things, dog. Certainly ain't on one of my cats. That's for certain. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me get rid of this rabbit.
So Brian, to address your point, my biggest thing is that concern is about, like, here we go. Like we build all this up, and now let's say it just doesn't work out, and Tua is not able to prove us wrong, right? And then we go, okay, well, that's fine because we've got a plan B in place. Well, nobody's going to allow us to construct a plan B because it's always going to be an affront to Tua. This is my question about who do we bring in for a backup? Do we let him compete? Do we just pay somebody and pull him off to the side and say, oh, we really don't want you to, be an affront to Tua?
That's a great question. That's
so real quick. So when we're putting all our hope in one basket and it fails, we don't even have a backup to rely on. We don't even have a plan.
What's our contingency? What's our contingency?
So you're saying have a backup like a Tyrod Taylor or
but
something.
We can't do that because anybody we bring in will be an affront to Tua or seen that way.
I agree with what you're saying, Culler, but here's my...
I don't think so. At this point in time, no, I don't think so.
But Culler, did we have a discussion before? We don't want another drama in the offseason. We already have too much toxicity. We don't want to bring a whole nother quarterback and have a quarterback battle and all that.
Yeah,
I disagree. I disagree, Brian. Here's why I disagree. Because even if we bring in somebody...
Hold on, I got to address something in chat. Okay. Send it. You obviously have it to send.
Bro, get up here, man.
You obviously
get up
have
here.
The stock at home.
The StreamYard, bro. Get up here, man. Come on, man.
Hey, I ain't never gotten personal with somebody in chat, but this guy, he can go kick rocks. And I don't care if you ever come back to this community, you piece of shit.
They're going to be back, bro.
Right there, buddy.
Yeah.
They're gonna be back.
Right,
you gotta get used to it, bro. You gotta get used to it.
No, that's something I ain't gonna get used to ever.
Color.
I don't care if that piece of shit ever comes back in front of my eyes or in any stream that I'm on. Okay.
Dollar CT, what you got, CT?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Hey, Culler, we love you, man. I get it. My thing was though is I agree with what you're saying. There's so much credence put on whoever's our quarterback is going to be, or the backup quarterback, because some people believe that, again, that Tua and his quote unquote prone to injury. I get it. I think that it's more about building a team in spite of Tua and seeing if he can win with that. If it's not, in that same way that we have 2 picks next year, even if Greer, which I don't think that he should be there to begin with, but we're not going to dispute that. That's a whole nother topic. But if we're putting ourselves in the position where we have the cap space we do, we have the picks, the draft capital we do, if we're building a team to be sustainable, plugging in a quarterback, even if it's a backup quarterback, because again, the same way, whether it was Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson or whatever the upgrade may be, most rational people aren't arguing that. There are some Tua stands who are ignorant and will argue that, but we're not talking about the extreme ignorance of this community. We're talking about the reasonable side.
Correct.
So the reasonable side would say, again, that I'm okay with next year, whether Tua works out this year or not, even though I am hopeful he will. I think that we still put ourselves in the position with the draft capital, even if we want to go with a veteran quarterback, if we go out and trade first and second round picks, in addition to the cap orientation that we have, bringing in a veteran, solid, well-rounded quarterback isn't as big of an issue as trying to fix a plethora of issues on a team. And that's That's where I'm coming from, because I don't believe that Tua is going to come in and fix everything. Even if Tua does get back to Alabama, I'm not saying that everything's going to be fine and dandy. But what I am saying is it's easier to replace one player than 10 players or 5 players or 6 players.
Especially when that player is the most important position too. Especially when it's the most important position. It's an easier fix for sure. Andrew, what's up, buddy? Guys, I'll be closing it down here in the next 15 minutes. But Andrew, I want to hear from you.
One more real quick, Andrew, before you go. Yes, everything does go here, just like my response to you goes here. So if you can't handle it and how I responded to you,
guess what? Listen, Los, you could come up here and make your voice heard.
I didn't call for you to be blocked. I told you I wouldn't care if you ever came around again.
Get used to it, guys. Hey, guys, I love you guys. Get used to it, man. There's gonna be guys out there. Like I said, what is it that the term is used? Keyboard.
I ain't got a problem with that man's freedom of speech.
Me,
as long
Cap.
as he ain't got my
But they're
problem
good. They're good people,
with
bro. They're just intimidated. We need to get them up here in some type of way that they're not intimidated.
There are guys who are alphas and those guys who are not.
How many people do you think are going to want to show their face on camera when they do and somebody calls them a crackhead?
Well, you know what, man?
Yeah, man, I'm still here, bro. I'm still here, bro. I have a whole bunch of freaking people disrespecting me because of my stance towards Tua and towards Flores. I'm still here, bro. I've been here 2 years.
And if my disgusting,
I'm not going nowhere, bro.
Right. And if my disgusting crackhead-looking image offends you, whoever that was,
bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
I'll save you the hurt. I'll save you the hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
the color people gotta respect that. Just like you and I don't always agree on everything, I will still respect you as a man, and that's where I think that a lot of these guys have issues.
Hey, CT's been there. Culler, CT's been there since day one. He's seen the craziness, bro.
I get you.
I'm surprised he's even here right now, bro.
This is live Twitter.
It kills me that people, just because we don't agree.
Look, this is like telling somebody that you're going to give them driving lessons after their mother got killed in a car accident. Really?
Trust me, bro.
Trust me.
How many friends? Do you realize how many friends? Do you know how many friends and family I've lost to crack, you asshole? Do you know how many friends and family I've lost to crack, you piece of shit?
Culler, don't listen to me, Culler. Culler, don't do it, bro. Don't do it, bro.
I already told you, don't let them get at you.
You got it, bro.
That's what they want, bro. Man. That's what they want.
That means that you're being heard, bro. Don't go there, bro.
It's over. It's over right now. So let's move on.
But that's the thing I was saying, because I'm a big Tua fan. I mean, that's very obvious.
You're stupid because you're a Tua fan. You're stupid because you're too.
He's just busting your chops.
No, I know.
I'm being sarcastic.
No, I just didn't hear him.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, you didn't hear it. He goes, you're stupid because
man. This has been going on way too long, though, bro. This has been going on way too long, and I'm afraid it's going to get even worse.
But this is...
By the way, Brian. Speaking of the vitriol in the fan base, there's no shortage of that going on.
No,
but it's not.
It's not out of our locker room. I'm calling for it. Get Tua out of our locker room.
No,
look, I assure you. Look. You stand by your stance. Everybody's gonna stand by their stance. At the end of the day, we need to link up here and voice our opinions. At the end of the day, it's about the logo, bro.
Yeah.
Don't fall into the hype. You guys are coming in at the right time. You guys are coming at the right time, bro.
It's not about the logo anymore. It's about
I know, CT. I know.
You want to win so damn bad that people want to turn on each other and they want to call each other names and act like children. Bro, we're adults.
I'm not having it, bro. I'm not having it, bro.
That's
I'm not having it, bro.
That's my only issue.
Whatever you guys think about me as being a loudmouth, you know what? At the end of the day, this loudmouth comes with good intentions. I'm not gonna stop, bro. I've been here for fucking almost. I'm sorry. I've been here for a minute, bro.
Look,
and I'm not gonna stop, bro, until I figure out who's right and who's wrong.
Nobody was calling each other crackheads when Tannehill was here. That's all we were trying to say to begin with.
How do you think I feel, bro? I don't know these guys, bro. They're disrespecting me. They're questioning my manhood. CT, they're questioning my manhood, bro. You know me, bro.
I know.
Do I disrespect people?
Cap, I ain't all about that, but you know just the same way. You and I talked about it with Big John that one time. the fact that I went out and I supported Tannehill and said, hey, if we give him, a decent team, he'll be a decent quarterback. He's not going to win us everything. Yeah. But they call me disparaging names, homophobic
bro,
they're
about to kill us, bro. What kind of person I am. Hey, to show you what kind of person I am, I appreciate that, Los Dolphinaticos. I appreciate that. That's
he's good people, bro. He's good people, bro.
That's how we can be adults.
And right? Culler, you're a great guy, man. Just because we don't agree, doesn't mean you're any less of a person. Yeah, and that's where I have the issue with guys who want to make it personal. They want to make it personal, and they want to try to sit here and talk crap about one another. That's what I have an issue with. Is hey, we're not always going to agree. But let's not play the personal bullshit, man.
Yeah, man. There's a way to fix that. There's a way to There's a way to fix that. CT. Chris is doing it. Culler's doing it. Mike on the mic. Tom. Everybody's doing it right now, and they don't like it, bro. At the end of the day, there's a different type of voice that needs to be heard.
There are certain cap. There are certain people who do it.
I know,
and we ain't going into detail because I know you talked to Big John. So
we're gonna fix that.
Don't
bro.
act like everybody wants to be on everybody's page and everybody want to act like they cool. Nah. Don't believe
but you know
that
what?
shit.
What you're doing is right, bro. What you're doing is right. At the end of the day, there's nobody else that does physical therapy that can talk about sports injuries as much as you. If they want to take that for granted, bro, hey, there's somebody else that'll freaking pick you up, and they think it's somebody else's garbage is. Bro, somebody else's garbage is somebody else's treasure, bro. At the end of the day, we're all together, bro. If you're not with it, we're stronger together.
And everybody needs to love everybody.
Do it, bro.
Everybody love everybody.
That's the thing.
Put that in there.
I mean, as far as with Cutler, I mean, we still bringing him.
What was that? The Russians?
No.
Stop bringing the Cutler shit. Come on. No, don't bring up that name. Don't bring up that name. Let's move on.
No,
I don't want to talk about that. Let's move on.
Wait, hold on.
No. Hey, Brian, I love you. We're Dolphins family.
Go ahead,
We're Dolphins family, but don't bring that name up, bro.
Flow, bro.
I'll
pick you up, bro.
Wait,
he's on the piano. That's his name.
Pause, everybody. CT. Brian was saying Culler, and it's just coming out in his vernacular as Cutler. He wasn't talking about Jay
my
Cutler.
bad. My fault. My fault. I just thought, hey, let's not bring up the Cutler shit. Let's not go there.
CT, from you and me, bro. From between you and me, CT, are some people being intimidated right now by what's going on right now?
I agree 100%. I also think
let's leave it like that.
The behind the scenes stuff. I know Big John has talked to you, so I try to tell him to give me your number. We'll figure that out. But nah, man, there's there's so much dissension.
I don't mean to do dirt. I don't do dirt.
No. Let me say this. There's so much dissension between fans, and it's sad because everybody knows, especially you, Cap, and people who know me personally, I just want intelligent conversation. I don't want BS conversation. I don't want narrative revolved conversation.
Educate me.
But if you can't educate me, done that.
You know what I'm saying?
But people tell me to shut up and stop talking so much. Hey, Cap, people say shut up because they don't want to hear me. They're there to hear them on their podcast. So, we're just not about that.
Well, you know what? I don't have the massive amount of subscribers, the massive amount of views. That takes time, guys. But as everyone can see, everyone has a chance to be heard. And if there's something to hash out, we can hash it out here. This is a tailgate party, and it will get vulgar at times, but it will always end the way El Capitan wants it, at some kind of mutual understanding. And if we can't have an understanding, then that's the understanding. We don't understand each other, so we understand that we're not going to see eye to eye. It's pretty easy. Brian, what you got to say, brother?
Yes, what I was saying was that that's the thing. On both ends of the spectrum, some like both sides, those that don't like Tua and those that do like Tua. I mean, they could be very extreme. Like like you said, there are people that do push out that Tua hate, and it's like, come on, like that's kind of ridiculous. And there's some that just really, are kind of they love Tua so much that they can't really look at reality. And with the Cutler's situation. It's just like, when you have an opinion like that and somebody want to call you out your character and use ad hominem and not really fight the argument, can make you start hating Tua. And that's certain people probably have started to hate Tua. It has nothing to do with Tua, but people started to make people hate Tua, and that's where it's starting to get more like.
And I admitted that to you, Brian, in a private conversation, didn't I? I admitted that that's where a lot of my Tua actual hate comes from. That I don't want to hate the guy.
Yeah, I don't hate nobody. I don't have hate for me. I hate things people do. I don't hate people themselves. That's just not who I am, because I don't toss stones in my glass house. And if you got a glass jaw, get your ass knocked out. Oh wait, sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what, man? I don't like things like power, abuse of power. I don't like stopping conversations. I don't like bullies, man. In fact, I'll make a little confession here. I used to be a fat kid when I was younger. My nickname used to be Heavy C. Now, it was meant in a endearment, and my family gave me that name. I did not like it, and it made me mad, and it created a sense of anger inside of me. And I have good self-control these days, but as a young man, a lot of people found themselves on the other end of that anger, and it didn't end well for a lot of people. And that's not a way to be, is my point. There's a self-control we need to have. And although we're going to lose it, I'm going to do my best to bring it into some kind of understanding. If there's no understanding, then that's the understanding. We can't stop what is the right thing to do. And that's growth amongst ourselves and through each other. Now, we're never going to be getting to where we got to go if we're always divided on everything. And I understand that division and perception, like I said earlier in the episode, it's something you can't put yourself in, because we don't have the ability to live in everyone else's shoes. It's impossible. But there is mutual respect, and there is mutual understanding. It's just manners, bro. That's all. And I do know of people who enjoy hurting people, and I got no patience and no tolerance at it. And if you want to find out, I'm very fucking good at it. If I can hurt people very easily, I'm smart enough and sly enough to use my words as daggers, because I know how to point things out and hurt people's feelings, because I'm good at that too. And it's not because that's what I am. It's because I'm just fucking that way, because I don't give a shit in all this. You can't hurt me. You're not going to get under my skin in a way outside of getting underneath other people's skin. That's where it brings out the mad dog in me. And I understand. This is why I made this platform, the Finn's Tailgate. It's tailgate parties. It ain't like, listen, at my family, when you come to a party at my house, you might see a full-on scrap between me and my uncles and everything else. But we're still sitting down and having dinner that night. We're raised a little different. We're a bunch of redneck crazy people. Wait till I start bringing some of these fools on. I got a big family. I got a lot of uncles that are not by blood, but there's a reason why I gather up these outcasts, because they have love and they know, and we all have understandings of each other. And sometimes this friction's going to happen. We're going to butt heads, but that's all right, because there's love underneath.
But that's the difference between family and foes. Is I got fucking two older brothers. You can fight all the fucking time, but we still got each other's back. And that's the difference between being a Dolphins fan and loving each other and respecting each other. We may not always agree, but man, coming down to this petty bullshit, man, that's where I'm like, nah,
it's
I'm
worthless,
good, bro.
Name calling, throwing around the bullshit. It's worthless, brother. It's worthless. CT, I'm going to put my cell phone number in the back, man, if you want to grab it and get in touch with me.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, and Brian, you too, brother, because that's how El Capitan gets down.
Appreciate it.
So, guys, it's 2:00 in the morning. I went a hell of a lot longer than I thought I was. I'm gonna start closing this down. We don't agree on a lot of things with team and where it should go, but let's try to get on a subject matter that is the problem now. And I had this question the other night and I'll try to rephrase it in a way. Let's assume that Ross not comes out of this unscathed, but he stays the owner for the unforeseen future, which means he has to bring in a head coach. What head coach is coming here? CT, you go first, brother. Oh, CT's gone. I don't know what happened. Brian, what head coach is coming here first, my brother?
I could bet a house that McDaniels is going to be hired tomorrow.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised, to
Hard
be
to
honest.
go against that bet.
I wouldn't be surprised. CT, I'm glad you're back. What head coach is coming here, man?
Oh my God, that's to be honest, I would hope that Mike McDaniel would be a head choice or a front choice. Given the list of guys who've already been taken versus what's available versus what we've interviewed, I would take McDaniel over Kellen Moore 7 times a week, twice on Sunday. But I also think, again, all the crap that's gone on has absolutely cornered us. So I think we're in the situation where we got to take the best that we can get. I don't want another BS. Oh, in 2 years, 2 years, we're going to be doing this crap all over again. I don't know. I wanted experienced head coach. I didn't want a new guy, but given the circumstances, I don't think we really have a choice. So that's kind of my view on that.
All right. Culler.
I'm about to drop a bomb on my prediction, but so let me check my bet slip real quick before I answer that question. Okay, looks like it hasn't closed yet. So yeah, Harbaugh's still in play, but given that that's probably not going to happen unless there's a big time gambit by Harbaugh to try to extract more money out of Ross. But that all being said, putting Harbaugh aside, obviously it looks like it's going to be McDaniel, but here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to make a prediction right now that not only all along has it been this guy, but this particular person is also going to solve Ross's problem. It's going to save a lot of face for our
Culler's
organization.
over here taking my answer. Go ahead, buddy.
And I guarantee you, I'm predicting it right now that the next coach of the Miami Dolphins is going to be Thomas Brown.
Whoa.
Oh,
he did drop the mic.
Okay. That's a good mic drop. That's a good mic drop, but I don't know.
That being said, if we are being shoehorned into Mike McDaniel, I hate the idea. I'm totally I'm juxtaposed to CT on this particular one. Okay. But if we're already being shoehorned into that, then yeah, I like the guy. Let's go, see what he can do. Hey, you never know.
But at the same time, Culler, I don't like the idea of doing it all over again with an inexperienced coach. We watched how Flo screwed up game management, and play calling, timeout management, review status, all of those things. Where I'm just like, oh my God, I just don't want to deal with the
and I'm on the same page with you but I know that your first year type preference is Mike McDaniel. Am I correct? Like if we had to go with a first timer.
Well, out of the available candidates, yes.
Okay.
What I believe is available.
Right.
So my first was Jim Harbaugh. My second was Jim Caldwell. My third was Doug Peterson. And my fourth was Mike McDaniel.
Right.
But I just didn't want a young guy.
Okay. Right. And the first three that you mentioned, I was pretty much the same, just in a different order. And my number 4 being the number 1 first timer has always been Thomas Brown since the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't like that, Quinn.
Well, I get where you're coming from with Thomas Brown, I like him. He's a good coach.
And we have interviewed him. So,
it was the experience. It's just the experience. That's
but
my issue.
Let's litigate that another day, because the word you just used, we can.
No, I agree. He has more experience than Mike Daniel. He does.
CT,
that's not a question.
He gonna start another argument.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to. Yeah,
I don't want to go into that hole.
We'll save that for tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, we'll be back
For
tomorrow,
sure,
guys.
for sure.
So I'll end it with this. I still think Harbaugh's coming. I know everyone sees what. Listen, I know it's probably a long shot, but this team has never gone the way it seems it's going to go. And it seems like every time you turn around, it's some madness that comes out of left field. And how fitting of an organization would it be that come Friday, comes and goes, everyone's clamoring, McDaniels is going to get the job, it's going to happen. And then late Saturday night, they do an interview with the new coach, and it's Harbaugh. And then they make sure, or Friday night, they do it with Harbaugh and they are closed all weekend. The writers aren't in there. There's no way to talk about it. It's all what gets talked about. I'm telling you, one way or another, whether it's Harbaugh or whether it's somebody else, that's how they'll release it. So the interviews can't come. The offices are closed for the weekend. The papers aren't running on the weekend. The writers aren't there. It's not that it would stop it from the internet age. My point is that it'll be tactically done, and I don't think it's ever who anyone thinks it is. And that's why I will keep with it being Harbaugh, because that's the least. It's the one that makes the most sense that they should have done in the get-go. And it would only be fitting if this owner on his way out signs this guy up for a ridiculous amount of money to hedge the entire organization on him being the next guy. I could just see it happening, guys. I could see this left field blind side just happening. I'm just saying that's I've come to expect the unexpected with the Dolphins, and that's where I'm playing it. And I hope. I think
and
it's
I
happen.
agree. I agree, but I think that unfortunately the Dolphins have proved us right time and time again that the unexpected happens in the negative aspect, not in the positive aspect.
But there's so much expected for McDaniel that's why I don't believe that it's him at all, man. Listen. And then the way that you said with Culler's pick, I can't remember what you just said, Culler, but like a first-time head coach, you're handing a 33-year-old young man the worst possible situation. Now, if I thought that Ross figured he would be here for another 5, 10, whatever many years, he would hire a guy like McDaniel, because to him, it's just another head for the guillotine to put all the blame on as he doesn't do what needs to be done for this team. But I think the writing's on the walls for him. He knows he's going to be pushed out one way or another, and that he might as well do what he needs to do and sign over and give back up the Brinks truck to his baby mama and make her come here and take care of his baby.
Not him. That's why I say Thomas Brown, because I wanted to add one more thing about Thomas Brown, my Thomas Brown prediction, Chris. Not only am I predicting that it's going to be Thomas Brown, but I'm predicting that Thomas Brown is going to be our coach for the next 10 years, and there's no way Ross will let anybody fire him.
Well, I don't think Ross is going to have that. You're talking about contract?
Well, no. Look, what I'm saying is, I have a feeling that Thomas Brown was was the same thing. That was our Rooney Rule interview.
Oh, I see. You're talking about making the Rooney Rule.
Not only is he going to be our coach, but he's going to
you.
be our coach for as long as Mike Tomlin's been the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bet that.
That is actually a very good observation. All right, guys. CT, Brian, Culler, hang in the back, man. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Guys, this is the tailgate party that never stops. I am your host, El Capitan. Please come back. We get heated. We get crazy. On your way out, guys, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me with keeping this video alive so other fans can find this network. We're getting close to 500 subscribers. If you guys are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. We got more content coming. We got TMI Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, it's the game show. Right after that, we got open mic with Mike on the mic. And then we have Drop the Mic on Saturdays at 10 as well. And then we have Cashin tickets found here on Thursdays. Usually, wait till you see the guys next week. We're going to have a whole Super Bowl betting episode. It's going to get crazy. And keep a lookout because college basketball is turning up. We're going to have the Sweet 16, all kinds of bets. And you can find me, El Capitan, doing the Fins Tailgate, usually late nights. We'll start working in some earlier scheduled times here as the months go on. I'm still figuring out scheduling and timing for myself and my life and my responsibilities. And, keeping my guys like Culler and everything like that coming around. And keep an eye out, guys. You're going to see Culler commentary late nights coming up here directly, and we'll put it on the schedule and have a great time. You know what, guys? I'm sorry things get out of control, but we will always try to bring it back to the middle. We all bleed aqua and orange around here, even the guys who are not fans of the Dolphins. We don't begrudge them for being fans of somebody else. Everybody love
Everybody love everybody.
Make sure to keep it a blessed day, dude. God bless, guys.